Hold on, I'm not ready now. I'm not ready now.
Recording in progress.
Hey,
It's going down. It's going down. Man, let's get these gunshots in here, man.
brrr, bang.
You
I'm
know
cool
what?
today, man.
I got
I,
to. So,
I
do you
know you're
not
gonna
want to
say,
do the
man.
gunshots anymore, bro?
No, man. But you look. You trying to dictate how I do my gunshots, man.
I'm
Sometimes the
not. I'm
gunshots
not.
gotta be laid
I'm not.
back, man.
I'm not trying to dictate how you do them, but the gunshots are a key element of the intro.
Yeah, man. It's
But
like it's setting the mood for the show, man.
you didn't even give me enough gunshots to intro the pod, bro.
If sometimes we gonna have a brrr, ah, ta-dow. And then sometimes we gonna have a pow, bang. But you know what I'm saying? Because real killers move in silent,
You're
like
now
Vegeta.
you're
Yeah,
now you're now listening to a premiere podcast coming to you guys live from Houston, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia at the same time.
wow,
Minus,
coast to coast.
minus, minus the aggressive gunshots. Young James Boogie representing Trey. AR Dub straight out the clock. This is another 16 Shots podcast, episode 81. Episode 81.
I'm gonna get on you, bro, because it's really not episode 81.
If you count
The
the
top-
if you count the bonus episodes that we throw in there, it's probably like 87.
I know that's what I'm gonna say because I'm counting. When I'm doing the promos and I'm going back and counting to see who is wearing what is what.
Yeah.
It's like about 6 promos I ain't put out there yet, but
Yeah, we got some bonus episodes. I didn't number them. I gave them like bonus content. We got a lot of
yeah.
content out there. We probably like 87 episodes in though.
But when I put the number on the account, I'm like, what number is this? And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
going
yeah.
back.
You're supposed
I'm
to leave
like,
it up to me.
it
You don't
say
supposed to be.
42, but the one before was 44. I'm like, hold on, man, that's a bad thing. But
No,
anyway,
your math doesn't add up, sir. The files are listed how they are
yeah,
in the correct numerical order. The
yeah,
bonus episodes don't get any numbers. And I'm only
that's what.
moving my
Yeah.
hands because my camera is so fire and everything's so clear.
It is, man. Don't look, man. It's a matter of time, man. It's just a matter of time. I've been working on all these things. I'm gonna do some rearranging. Um, um, New set alert, new set coming soon. You know what I mean? So just keep doing your thing, King.
I'm still on these yinglings. Yinglings. Pause.
I think I've given up beer, bro.
So I've given up. I haven't had any hard liquor since I've left Houston, and I feel better health wise. So I think the only hard liquor I'm going to drink for the rest of my life moving forward is going to be tequila.
Mm,
And I don't,
to kill
tequila.
you.
I love tequila, but it give me heartburn, so I'll probably won't drink it but once every 2 weeks.
To once every you know, I don't know, man. It's the liquor's not bad to me. It's just I'm very active, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to drop about, because I am too hormonal,
Oh, now you
you know what
trying to
I
drop
mean?
weight?
But I want to drop to about 185 and then work my way up to 200 the hard way.
Oh, you
'Cause I
trying to
got
put on 20 pounds of muscle?
mm, well, maybe let's drop to 190 and put on that 10 of muscle. Not 20, only 20 pounds of muscle.
Oh, okay.
That 10 pounds of muscle.
It's harder than it sounds.
It's who you telling, man?
And it's crazy. Well, it's not crazy. I guess that's just how shit works in life. But it's stupid. It's easier to put on just fat
Well, I mean,
instead
because
of
it takes no effort to put on fat.
muscle.
It takes no effort. You just wake up in the morning and just keep doing what you're doing. And
I,
you wake up in 2 months and you're like, damn, I put on 5 pounds?
I'm not disciplined enough to be a bodybuilder, but I know I have a close friend who's like a brother who's a bodybuilder, and I watch his routine,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying, like he'll walk on stage. Matter of fact, I'm rocking the Barbell Bullies Pride training.
Yeah.
He'll walk on stage at like 180,
Yeah.
185, but when he'll get ready for a show, he'll be X amount of months out. Man, you look up and he'll change his diet up and he'll be 210. And he's 210 because of the diet. He ain't eating trash, but he up whatever protein or carbs or whatever it is, and he'll be lifting heavier, and he'll
Yeah.
be like 210, and then
Speaking of
he'll cut from 210 to like 180, bro. And the science of that shit is crazy.
speaking of trash, man, I noticed that I do say the word trash sometimes, man. I have to apologize to you. I made a commentary that I don't say the word trash,
Yeah,
and I should have said I don't say trash often, but I do say. Usually, when I say trash, I say garbage trash, or I say but I do say trash occasionally, but just for for listeners and everybody listening purposes, I definitely try to not use the word trash as much as possible. I think that's a horrible word.
I can see that. Well, I don't think it's a horrible word. Some things need to be called trash, not people. I don't like to call people trash. I have called someone a trash panda before. I try not
Trash panda,
a trash panda. Yeah,
like the bear.
yeah. I call them a trash panda.
Were they heavy set? Are you weight
Has
shaming?
nothing to do with size.
I'm just asking. I don't know you. I don't know the person you're talking about.
Nah, I feel like when I add panda to the end of it, it makes it worse.
It definitely does. You're toxic.
But it has nothing to do with that person's physical appearance. You know, it's just how I feel about them in the moment.
Trash panda.
Trash
That is
panda, yeah, trash panda. If
so.
somebody makes you mad enough, call them a trash panda.
I feel like my head is like whopped. Like I can't hold my head in the right
It
direction
looks
to
like
make
it's
it.
too. It looks like the hat itself is too large for your head.
That's what it feels like, but it's not. It's very snug. It's just big.
Pause.
Pause. Um,
Pause.
going to the. That's exactly what she said. It's not too big. It just fits really snug. Um, bunch of new ears on the pod, man. Shout out to all the new listeners. Uh, I want to hop right into the itinerary, man. Starting off with Drake and J. Cole.
Man, I'm so fucking sick of talking about Drake, Kanye.
I said Drake and J. Cole. What are
No,
you
I
talking
I
about?
didn't mean like Drake versus Kanye, like Drake and Kanye as a entity. I'm not saying you bring it up all the time. I'm tired of Drake and I'm tired of Drake and I'm tired of Kanye.
I don't think we should be tired of them, man, because like nobody ever says I'm tired of talking about. Well, they do, but what I'm saying is that these are two of the most polarizing and biggest acts in music right now.
I don't want to talk about Drake or Kanye until 3 years from now. But we can talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to dictate what you want to
Yeah,
talk about, sir.
I mean, I'm just saying that it is like most of the there are a few outlets that have admitted to it. It's like, yeah, it does come to the point where it seems like we're oversaturating ourselves with some of these
We are.
artists, but in the same breath, we're infatuated with these artists because of the like you never heard anybody say, "Oh, the Beatles, man, I'm tired. I'm of the Beatles." In the '60s, they had a 10-year run. Elvis, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson. Like we, good or bad, when somebody is that polarizing and that important to not even a particular culture, but to popular culture, it's like it's hard to avoid a conversation about them because they literally touch all parts of especially with music, because like music is something that is so accessible and so, you know, I like that how you just like, man, this nigga won't stop talking about Drake, man.
No, I actually heard a noise. That's why I'm like, what the fuck is that? But no, I don't want to talk about Drake and Kanye. But we did see something that I feel like should have happened between Drake and Kanye, opposed to what has happened. We saw Drake have J. Cole on stage
Mhm.
and give J. Cole his flowers. And this was what I think a day or two after J. Cole dropped his freestyle over one of Drake's beats, which
Which I
some
think was very patronizing. Like, oh man, you dropped on my beat, so you know what, man, you're the greatest, man. To get in front of people saying J. Cole killed you on your own beat, he jumps in front of that and says, "Oh man, I love you, man. You're one of the greatest." So now the conversation is not going to be Drake killed you on the beat. It's going to be Drake gave you props of being. See what I'm saying? It's chess, not
It
checkers,
is,
bro.
but them niggas like each other. Like J. Cole grabbed Drake's beat, uh, said that I sit in a chair behind you, sir, and then went on to drop some bars that sounded like he was shooting slugs at Drake.
That's what I was trying to say. Drake was letting you know that
Yeah,
even
so
though even though popular people might put you in this, like I could do this. Like I was the one that Jay-Z picked, not you. Really, what it boils down to an extent, to an
what
extent,
you
it's
mean?
like
Drake can say he's the one Jay-Z picked, not J. Cole?
no, J. Cole can say that I'm the one that Jay-Z picked, not you.
Oh, yeah. He can't say that.
Yeah, I'm the one that Kanye picked first too, not you.
Yeah.
So but
Drake is not a better artist than J. Cole though. And I know how you feel about comparing artists and you have this whole crab in the barrel mentality thing, but I do think as consumers, I can I'm not if it's not me pitting people against each other in a negative light, I can compare rappers and tell
yeah, you could.
you
I mean,
who
that's
I
fair.
think goes harder than who. And I think J. Cole is a much better rapper than Drake.
Much better or better?
Much better. It's one of those situations where it's like at a certain point or a certain level, like it doesn't matter. Like when you really start talking about who's the best NBA star right now, and I'm
Yeah,
picking between Kevin Durant, James Harden, LeBron James, I think the talent level is so high,
yeah.
it doesn't matter which three of those guys you pick.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because I think that the conversation is very op is very opinionated or very opinion based, right?
What? What conversation?
Any conversation we're talking about who's the best NBA player, who's the best rapper,
Yeah,
or who's the
yeah.
best,
It's gonna be.
and
It's gonna
I'm
be.
okay
It's
with
gonna
that.
be heavy opinion on like what that person likes
Yeah, yeah.
personally
But
or their preference when they're given a take.
and generally speaking, we turn to our experts or our columnists or our media to give us an unbiased look at
Yeah, but there's
what.
no. I don't think there's a such thing as an unbiased take when it comes to all of that shit because everybody has a bias.
Well, no. Not everybody has a bias. This is what people quote unquote respect about the Charlemagne's and the Joe Buttons and the you
Charlamagne
know
and Joe Budden definitely have biases,
well, I'm saying
and
the
they
bias.
both will tell you that though.
Yes, what I'm saying, the bias that they have, they'll tell you, but they'll also say me being unbiased, because and this is what I was getting to. Everybody doesn't dig, and this is going to go to the next conversation, not the next one, but one of our other topics, is the way that people dig into a situation. Some people are topical all the time. Some people are, will dig past that first level. But some people will really just, put their hands in the dirt and feel the grains of it and understand, okay, well, this is this type of dirt and they'll really just immerse themselves into a subject so that they have an understanding from different, from all different perspectives. And then they're supposed to give you the unbiased, supposed to, but then you have certain magazines or certain outlets that are going to be CNN will be give you a Republican bias, you know, but they will paint it as this is the news channel. Or I'm sorry, Fox News will be we're a news channel, but we're giving you a heavy Republican base, and the same with CNN as Dems, and so on and so on. So it's just unique talking about bias and how we relate and how we move. But I think sometimes it's not necessarily that not me, but a person is biased, uh, that they have preferences. And can you set aside your preference to give an unbiased description of something as a journalist, at least?
You should as a journalist.
Yeah, but they don't sometimes.
Okay.
But
I
we
can't
got
take
off
you
of J.
serious with
Cole,
the
so J. Cole.
I can't take you serious with sunglasses on, bro.
Look, man, this is my drip. This is my Stevie. Me and Stevie have the
I'm
same.
not hating on it. It's just weird, bro. It's weird
Me and Stevie,
staring at
me
the
and
screen and you got your stunner shades on. It's funny.
I almost feel like you're kind of jealous that I got the stunner shit because if anybody is one who is known to stunt, I think you are the more stuntastic of us two.
Oh, you want me to start pulling my shades out?
I'm just saying you talking about stunt. I'm just saying if we were talking about who's the bigger stunner, I think you're the more stuntastic
No,
of
I
us
don't.
two.
I don't. I'm not. No, I don't. I don't. No,
What?
I'm a low key G.
Yeah, no. You're the two chains, linen pants,
You
um,
say linen pants?
linen maybe, hot cotton. I don't know what it's called. I think that if we were to go out on 5 different occasions at 5 different places, I would wear the same outfit to every occasion. Whereas you would definitely have a different
I'm
outfit
definitely gonna have a different outfit for every occasion.
for
And
every outing.
yeah,
Maybe
different.
two, maybe a wardrobe change in between.
Uh, depends.
If we had a versus battle, me and you would definitely pull the Fat Joe and be like, yo, time out, yo. I gotta go, I gotta come back with, I came out with this and now I'm coming back with that.
Now, if we had a versus, I would have one outfit that I would rock the entirety. I think it was corny that Jimmy had a nigga bring him a chain on stage. That was corny.
You know, we'll get in the verse later on. But
Also,
okay,
I also
so
feel like when it comes to jury attire, I feel like Jada had the appropriate amount of jewelry on.
yeah,
Them niggas, look, I fucks with Jim Jones, but he took this shit too far. Too far.
I just think the jury. I don't know. I have a bias about jewelry, so that's why I leave it
Let's
alone.
get
I don't
into it.
talk about.
I would love to hear your bias about jury.
My bias about jewelry is one, where does it come from? Like, what is the antithesis of it? Like, what are you trying to say? And this goes back to the conversation about, you have a topical way of looking at, not you, I'm talking about just people in general,
Yeah, go ahead.
but specifically like the ocean, specifically, um, African American artists, like, where does this want for jewelry come from, right? And so that leads me to think, okay, because they'll say, "Oh, we were kings and queens before." I'm like, okay, cool. Then why do you wear Italian jewelry? Why don't you wear African like jewelry? If you're saying that this is in your roots or it's coming from your roots, why do you stray away? Why don't you wear, beaded, onks? Or why don't you wear more African based jewelry? So, and then
So
going,
to your point, so you said most people's knowledge or takes are topical. Now,
uh,
um, I did a report about this a long time ago.
yeah,
I'm fascinated. I love jury. I'm fascinated with jury. I love jury
yeah,
watches, shit like
yeah,
that. If I had it, I probably would have 5 chains on at all times.
yeah.
It might sound like a bit much, but I would.
I mean, it's your stilo.
With that being said, because of my fascination with jury, many moons ago, I did a report.
Yeah.
I did the report, and the report was it was about an influential celebrity.
Hmm.
And at this point, I was in high school. Pac was dead. He had recently died.
Hmm.
I did my report on Pac. Um, actually, it was my first year in college. I did my report on Pac, and
Did you get an A?
huh?
Did you get an A on the report?
Yeah, I did. I got A on it.
You were your PV? What school you at?
This was at Texas Southern University.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
So, he had a line in an interview. I forgot who was the interviewer, and he was
Hmm.
like, "I'm draped in my old school jewels,"
Hmm.
and one of the chains had African symbols on it, and
Had
so
Cleopatra on there.
yeah, so I did some research at that point in my life. I always knew, I would see during Black History Month, you'll see like, African kings depicted wearing a lot of gold.
Mm-hmm.
did research, and it was just how they showed their royalty. I think the
Mm-hmm.
richest, correct me if I'm wrong, the
Mm-hmm.
richest king was Mansa Musa. I might be saying his name wrong.
Mansa
Um,
Musa, yeah, I believe that's true.
I think he was like the richest man in the world. I don't know if anyone has surpassed that yet. I don't know, but he was one of them, and some other kings and queens who stayed draped in gold jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like it. With that being said, everybody don't know that, and I just have an elementary, you know, I have an elementary knowledge of it. I can't tell you why they wore so much jewelry outside of showing their wealth or whatever it is. But to your question, why would they not wear African made jewelry? Why are they
Mm-hmm.
wearing Italian chains? I think right now, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, I think the 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 top of the line jewelry is
Mm-hmm.
like Peruvian, Italian made jewelry, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know when you buy your chains, if it's stamped from Peru or from Italy or whatever, it's supposed to be have the purest of purity and the best craftsmanship, things like that.
I'm from the Kanye right quick. I'm from the Kanye right quick.
Oh no, I mean, you don't have to call it Kanye. You
No, no,
can
no, no.
just
I'm from the
educate
Kanye
me.
right quick. I'm from
I'm
the
gonna tell
quote.
you what I know. I know when you go to jewelry stores like stamped in Peru,
Yeah.
Italian chains. Right now, they're supposed to be the pinnacle of quality.
But what I'm saying is all the gold and the diamonds, they come from Africa.
I know that.
Yeah. And so there's a particular, very calculated reason why you can't find, or well, not why you can't find, but why they stamp their jewelry or Peruvian or Italian as the highest quality.
Tell us why.
Like, I'm just gonna put it to the listeners to be like, do you think that the people that mine this jewelry, mine this gold, and mine these diamonds have no idea how to shape and design these diamonds? You
Oh,
think that they have,
I'm pretty sure they
no,
do.
yeah. So how could somebody outside of, like, they found tribes in Africa that knew how to mine for gold and how to shape gold back in the, way hundreds of years before it was able to be molded, and without all the technology. And I'm even talking about modern technology. I'm talking about before the Egyptian technology. So what it is like, to me, like you said, it's a status symbol. We've been taught that, jewels mean you have money. But that is what the Europeans saw as wealth in Africa, the jewels and the gold. Whereas in Africa, it was like, damn, everybody got gold. Like, everybody got, this is abundant here.
Yeah, it was abundant everywhere, and so that's another reason why they all had it. Europeans
Yeah,
came and raped Africa of all the resources.
or they tried to,
Yeah,
but you can't rape, you can't take what's abundant.
but you know
That's
what I'm
what
saying, though. Like that's what they came there for.
that's what made the Black Panther story so poignant, is that there are places right now in Africa that are abundant in resources that would make them Wakandas. And there are places right now like Eritrea, like Nigeria, there's many places in Africa that are literally funded by their natural resources, you know. So saying all that to say, the responsibility of a human being is to be responsible. You know what I mean? And so if I'm making moves or doing things that are irresponsible solely based on my personal wants, then how responsible am I really? Is
Okay,
my question.
so give me
Yeah.
an example of that. Would you say buying the jury or wearing the jury is an example of you not being responsible as a human?
No, not knowing where it comes from is irresponsibility. Like, if I'm knowing, like, case in point, when there was a big thing about the blood diamonds and
Mm-hmm.
where the diamonds came from, which went away real quick. But it was responsible to tell you, hey man, look, these diamonds are not coming from nowhere, and people are dying, being exploited for these diamonds, but you were in turn coming over here and shining in people's face like, look what I did. But and you if you're feeding the beast, however you're feeding the beast, you're feeding the beast. So at what point do you say I'm gonna stop feeding the beast and look for other ways to get the same thing? Because it's not like there's only one distributor of diamonds. You know, there are black jewelers. There are black jewelers. So how come when I look to my favorite rapper, he's not going dealing with a black jeweler. He's going to Jacob. He's going to someone. So he's going to people who don't even. This is, and that's what I'm talking about. Touching this top surface and digging in the soil, and once you know better, you're supposed to do better. You're supposed to, but people have
So
different ways.
so let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Because with the comment you just made, you can kind of go down a rabbit hole of saying you can apply that to a lot of things. This not
yeah,
just not
yeah.
jury. Literally, you can apply that to everything we use on an everyday basis.
And that's what I was saying every day. And like,
Yeah, but so are you that? All right, and I'm not. I'm asking you. Are you that conscious at how you move on a daily basis and make sure that you do those type things?
I try to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not difficult just to think to yourself. Like, the reason why people don't want to be that conscious is because it makes you rethink how you move. And in our society in America, we would rather go with what's more convenient than what is the bigger picture, or what is the greater good. So it will be like, okay, we'll do this thing over here, whatever it is, because it's convenient, even though we know, like, man, there are long-term effects of this, and people are dying for this. People, but and it's not my problem; it's their problem. You know what I mean? So I understand this isn't a real serious part, man. It's supposed to be having fun and joking, but
Oh no, we get
um,
there. I just I'm not knocking anything you're saying. I totally understand everything you're saying.
mhm,
My question always is when it comes to the things like shopping black, knowing where these things come from, knowing the history behind the products or the places you patronize. Like, if I sit here and I really look deep enough into everything I use every day, from these
mhm,
mics we talk on to these socks I got on to these shoes I wear, like I can find some bullshit behind it, and I can also find maybe someone black who does it.
mhm. So why would I go to the black person?
Exactly, and I have no issue with that. But sometimes it's accessibility. Sometimes it's availability.
Oh, that sounds like convenience to me.
What you mean? So let me ask you
Well,
a question: is your shirt black owned? Is your shirt a black owned shirt?
well, the company who made it was black.
I get that, but the
Oh,
actual shirt, is it black owned?
the materials, I couldn't tell you for sure, but I know for sure that the company that the designer was black, and the seller was black. So,
And that's
two,
cool. So same thing
two,
with my hoodie. The designer
yeah,
is black. Actually,
yeah,
it's my logo.
yeah,
The seller is black, but
yeah,
the fucking hoodie's a Gildan hoodie. I don't know if
yeah,
Gildan's black on. Same thing with my
yeah,
glasses. I got Purcell glasses. I don't know who fucking makes Purcell. Now I do know that there are black owned eyeglass frame designers. I
yeah,
know that. I own
mhm,
glasses made by black owned designers.
yeah,
I'm using a camera. It's a Canon camera.
yeah,
I don't know who owns Canon. I don't know if there are any black owned camera companies.
yeah.
I just feel like at some point, if I go and I say, I can't do that. That ain't owned by black man. Like,
And you realize how oppressed we really are. That's what happens, and then it's depressing and is disheartening, and so we fall back into like, well, but like when I ask that question, it just leads me to ask more questions. Like, dang, well, how come it ain't more? Like, why is there no black car company? Why these little bitty countries that don't have a bunch of money can make a car, but Africa can't? I think it's only three in Africa, but there's no worldwide distributed car company from Africa. Why is that? I mean, like, and then you come back to the same conclusion that there's a concentrated effort to keep black businesses or black companies out of the mix. And secondly,
It
there's
definitely
not a
is.
concentrated effort by black people to be like, man, we just ain't gonna do that. We just like I will be inconvenienced before I'm disrespected.
So let
And
me
that's
all right. So let me ask you a question
yeah,
on that topic of the black car, the black car company.
yeah.
We know there are a couple of car companies out of Africa. Um, but Boogie needs a car next week.
Yeah.
And Boogie says, you know what? I know there's some black owned car companies. I'm gonna buy a black owned car.
Yeah.
But you need a car next week.
I will be inconvenienced before disrespect.
Where's the availability at?
I will be inconvenienced before I'm disrespected. So me having to wait an extra month or 2 months because, and this is what I tell people all the time. You go to a black business and you'll be like, oh man, the service was bad. I ain't going back no more. But I know for a fact McDonald's will mess you over, Wendy's will mess you over, all these big white companies mess you over, and you go right back. And if you go to the point to call their managers or their corporate offices and say, hey, they messed up. Y'all need to fix this. But because we feel it's black owned, because we feel like you you'll take shit from people who don't give a fuck about you and who show it before you'll take shit from people who are like you and have your same struggles. And that's the issue to me.
So do you live by these principles every day?
I try to, man. I'm perfect. I'm a human though. But
And
I try to.
that's all I was saying.
But that don't mean anything though.
I strive to shop black first, but sometimes I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I need tires for my car,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to where I know I can find tires.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
You hear
if
what I'm
I
saying?
can
You
go
can't
to a
just,
black owned tire shop, I will. Um, but I don't know if there is a company who makes tires. I don't know if there's a company who makes 22-inch tires. So
that's what I'm
if
saying
I
though.
can't
My
go to a
my
black owned tire shop, I'm going to go to said tire shop that I can find that can fix my tire and get me back on my way to work.
but what I'm saying is, do you think if we had like okay, one question. Are you familiar with the numbers of how much black people spend yearly in the United States? Just the United States.
I don't know the number, but I know that we are the majority of consumers.
Yes. So what if those consumers told like, and I don't make it that big. I can give you examples of when we decided as a people that now I would rather be inconvenienced as opposed to be disrespected. So when in Georgia, where you are, when they had oh no, I'm sorry, in Selma, when they had the bus sit outs, right?
Yes, I'm aware of the bus sit outs.
And they said, you know what? I'd rather be inconvenienced than be disrespected. And within months, it's like, you know what? It's we all we care about is money. So if you're saying that you will take your money from us, we'll change the way we operate to get this money. Now, the second part of that, which I think they missed out on, was when, and I think that it might have been in the plan as well, is that when we show that we can do this on our own, let's get our own buses. But there's a systemic plot to be like, nah, y'all can get your own buses. It's in the government, it's in the laws that you can't do, or there's roadblocks that would stop that from happening. But what I'm saying is, like, if we decided we don't want to do something, then it's gonna stop. Which is why I always say cancel culture is dumb as hell because we never cancel anything that is really against us. We cancel people who look just like us. We don't cancel people. We don't cancel H&M. We don't cancel anybody who's really disrespecting us. We cancel people who look like us, talk like us, have our same issues, have our same fears, have our same. And so really, once again, it's that crab in the barrel. Like, I'll cancel this black man or this black woman, but I ain't canceled none of these white folks over all these years. I've been right along without well, it's well, I guess Jesus got blue eyes, as we won't cancel that, but we'll cancel said person for indiscretion, or we'll cancel this rapper because he got caught doing something that everybody do. You know what I'm saying? That is like the intent and the thought process behind it, which goes back to what I keep saying over again. The consumer can't be the catalyst. It has to be the leaders and the leaders and the people who understand and them putting that planting that seed and that seed growing. Because if it's just let the consumer as a consumer's way of thinking, they gonna let the marketing and the propaganda rule them. And like, oh yeah, this is what it is, so and so. I'm loving it. Let's eat McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they gave so and so money to the NCAA. Let's go eat this. Let's go buy that. When in actuality, they owe us that to begin with. Now y'all giving money that y'all took from us in the first place. So how you supposed to be happy about that? Why am I saluting that? Like, your whole company is built off slave labor. So if you gave back 2 million, that's not enough, man. Congratulations for trying to make reparations for what you already stole. I'm not patting you on the back. I'm not happy for that.
Which way
You
today?
owe.
Which way today?
uh,
Which way?
What I ate?
Which way today?
I ate chicken, man.
From where?
From, I want to say, where I go? Farmers, not farmers market. Aldi.
Okay.
Why?
No, you just I don't know, man. I was wondering if you ate something that put you in a bad mood.
I'm not in a bad mood,
No,
bro.
no, I'm not
That's
saying you're in
not.
a bad mood. I'm just saying
That's how
if
I
you
always
ate
feel about
something that put you in
everything.
a. I
I always
also
feel
I,
like,
I also was wondering if you patronized the black restaurant. That's all.
which one? Oh,
Any
today
black
I
owned
didn't eat it. I
restaurant
ain't
or
out today.
institution, huh?
I ain't out today.
What day yesterday?
Yesterday, what I ate yesterday? I ate J and J because I don't be eating like but once twice a day. So yesterday I only ate.
Yeah, fish
I
from
ate,
J&J.
I had chicken
From J&J.
J&J. I think that's Filipino Korean.
Oh,
I
okay.
think, yeah, and it's a small business. So
No,
you
I
know,
got you. I got you.
there's a movie called America, the movie. It's animated, but it has Killer Mike is in it, and there's several other big name actors, and they do a retelling of the story of America, and it's very interesting, very very interesting, very comical, but very interesting on how you know, they retell the story, and it's like if you open your eyes a little bit, you can see how ludicrous and how crazy some of the things we do now are. And Big Mike's character was a blacksmith. This is all said in 70, 76. And
Big Mike or Killer Mike?
Sorry, Killer Mike.
Okay.
Killer Mike is like, what is the biggest enemy of the small business? And it's Killer Mike. It's a character. It's Geronimo. It's Sam Adams. It's George Washington. It's Thomas Edison, and I forgot who else. Oh, and Paul Revere. And those are the five main characters fighting against Benedict Arnold and the King of England or whatever. And Killer Mike is like, taxation is the biggest enemy of small business. You know what I mean? And like they had answers like, "Oh, white people come to steal your stuff." No, 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 no. Like, no, it's taxation, man, because you're taking money. Anyway, I don't want to get too deep in that because,
No, no,
like I
no.
said,
Okay, finish your point, bro. I'm loving it. Finish your point.
what I'm saying is, a lot of times, the conversation that people have about. See, I don't want to sound like I see. This is why I
No,
don't have.
stop. I
Oh,
love when you are educating. So I wanted you to finish your point about taxation,
it comes
why
off
it
the
was why
conversation.
I want why it was the biggest killer of small business. I wanted you to finish that point.
Well, because when if when what they do is, as a big company, I have the ability to hobnob and influence the way the laws are written. So I'm getting a tax break of 2%, or no, of 20 and 30%. Whereas a small business who is trying to become the size of a big company, they're taxing me like, I'm getting tax breaks of like 2% and 5%.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not getting the breaks, but I'm having the same. I'm competing with this bit. Like it's layered with money and influence and structure, but that's a bigger deterrent to a small business than competition because it's not a fair competition. If McDonald's can come in and hire workers like this and do these type of things and get tax breaks and not be held accountable, but if I come in and hire a person and I'm paying out of pocket, I'm paying like it's all types of different issues. But that goes on for me to say that generally speaking, because of the freedoms that we have in America, and because of we assume like, oh, we have these rights or whatever, whatever. It in turn kind of doesn't allow people, or people don't generally just really investigate like, what is this law about, and what is the root of this law? What is where does it really mean? Like giving you a topical, oh, well, you have the right to free speech. Okay, well, how much free speech do I have? Can I say this? Can I say that? Can I say this? Can I say that? Why can't I say this, but I can say that? And when we start going to them, answering them questions, giving them answers, you're like, damn, this really ain't free speech. It's really like I only say what you allow me, and you not being the government, but you being the power that controls the government or the power that's influencing the government. Well, can I have a gun? Yeah, you can. Why can't I have a gun? Well, this is the reason why. And you start diving and going into what it is. It's not even about protecting yourself. It's really about something totally different. But
So
it's
so so if you understand that to that magnitude, without talking about the conversation, I just want to know
yeah.
if you understand that to that magnitude, how come the whole mandatory vaccine shit ain't scared of you or raise the eyebrow to you?
It doesn't raise the eyebrow because these laws weren't written they weren't written to they were written for influence and for they were written a certain way, but they didn't write this law or any they didn't write certain these laws with the thought that, oh, one day it's gonna be a killer vaccine or a killer, like some of these anomalies.
But we've seen this before
Oh,
though. Not we as in us in our lifetime. But
we've
this isn't
it's not new.
something this that hasn't been seen before. And the other piece is without and I'm not specifically speaking of that of the vaccine. It's all about some of it is about control, some of it is about people getting richer off of the pandemic. Like we
Mhm.
saw who got rich off the pandemic.
I
And
mean,
how does that just not raise the eyebrow? All of these years where we've had epidemic like diseases like cancer, the AIDS epidemic, all of these things.
cancer epidemic.
But that's what I'm saying. Like this, the
Yeah.
AIDS, stuff like diabetes, all these
Mhm.
health issues that have been a thing, and the government hasn't come together to make something free or affordable in the name of public health until
Our
now.
government, our government,
Until
not all
now.
governments, just
And
our government.
until now. That doesn't make you raise an eyebrow? Like
The eyebrow.
you don't side eye the government like, I get it, but we've had some shit that's been going on that y'all ain't stepped in and tried to make affordable. Like, if I didn't have if I didn't have insurance, I have
Mhm.
medications that would probably cost me $600 a month. That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy, bro. It's fucking crazy that you would have a pill that's priced at $30 or $40 a pill. Like that's not affordable for anyone. It's also fucking crazy that I have parents that have retired and their health care, while it's still good, bro, it's like it's they have my mom has medications that she couldn't afford once she stopped working with the health care that she had. And if she would have tried to keep Blue Cross Blue Shield and pay
Mhm.
for it as just a regular person, bro, the shit's crazy. The shit's like damn near the same amount of money she's getting a month for retirement. Like, how is it that now all of a sudden public health is a concern? Like that doesn't make you raise your eyebrow, kind of side eye 'em a little bit.
But my side eye is less. My side eye is less with big. It's not with the government per se. Well, it is with the government, but it's also like because we've been allowed, or they've been allowed to go unchecked to an extent for so long. They've literally been able to have the ability to cultivate their cattle. So it's like, okay, we can give you this, knowing or having the foresight to know that if I give you this, in 8 years, this gonna happen. In 16 years, this is gonna happen. In 32, this is gonna happen. If you make it to the to the 48, then you just have to have that 48 years. You know what I mean? But
But if we say the gun lobbyists, they're lining the pockets of politicians to sway
yeah,
them to do one thing, and
yeah.
then like the lobbyists of freedom of speech or any of these big business, big companies who are lining the pockets of politicians to sway them to do X.
Mhm.
What makes you think the same thing isn't happening or can't happen when it comes to our recent conditions in the United States in the world today?
I'm not.
Okay.
I totally agree they are. But what I'm saying is that lining the pockets with lining the pockets is one thing. But when I go back, there's it's not the answer is never going to be one thing because there's so many different entities and different things going on at one time. But what I do know, and this is that we all know, is that the end result is to have what? Money and power, right? So anything that stops my money, I'm not gonna go for that. There's no reason why I would be going for anything because that's what I'm. This is the catalyst. This is the fuel to my tank. The fuel to my power is me having the money. If I don't have the money, I don't have the power. We've seen what happens when nations that have power don't have no money. They flounder out. So I gotta have the money. I have the money. How do I make money? I work. I have people working for me, and I don't have to work. And all I'm doing is pointing fingers. You do that. You do that. You get the money to me. I tax you,
Do you
or I make you pay. I make you pay me as you work.
are you
So
familiar are you familiar with Andrew Yang?
yeah,
So Andrew Yang is a tech guy.
yeah,
He was running for president
yes,
and he was running for governor. I mean, of New York. Or was a mayor
yeah.
of New York. It was one of them.
Mayor of New
So
York. Yeah.
so one of his things was he said something. He gave a metric out. I don't remember the exact year that the metric represented, but it was
Mhm,
sometime in the future, in the near future, not too long from now. Probably, in our lifetime, but we'll probably be old and retired. But he
mhm.
said AI or robots will represent a certain number of jobs in the workforce. A lot
Yeah,
of these number of jobs in the workforce are jobs that are primarily used or used by minorities. And so the
yeah,
logic was, well, minorities will be jobless, won't be able to take care of themselves because AI and robotics will take the place of them in said jobs. And I think he had an initiative where he was trying to teach minorities and get them trained
yeah,
in things like technology and stuff like that. With that being said, I think a lot of your CEOs of these big tech companies, they see the writing on the wall. They're trying to replace your job with AI. And if you look at it, it's already happening. When you walk into a McDonald's or when you walk
mhm,
into a Jack in the Box, and bro, I walked into like a Jack in the Box a couple of weeks ago.
mhm.
There was no cashier, bro. It was four screens or kiosk, and I
Mhm.
go and I put my order in at the kiosk, and then I pick my shit up at the counter, bro.
A Jack in the Box.
At Jack in the Box, and I know they got them in McDonald's too. And if you want to keep it a buck, there was a Jack in the Box in Bel Air, and this had to be at least 8 years ago because I still was employed at the place we don't mention. running summer camp programs, and they had a kiosk in there.
Yeah.
And you will place your order there. There's certain functions of my job that are done strictly online by AI. Now you have
Well,
you have humans who are checking values and conditions, but
yeah.
that function itself has eliminated 2 seats for a buyer. So
Yeah.
there are things that are happening now that are eliminating jobs. And the fact that we had the pandemic last year, it sped up the process. When last time you
Well,
went to when was the last time you went to a mall?
that's not a good question because I don't go to the mall no reason. But yeah, I've been to the mall in the last. First off, to be honest with you,
Well, hold on,
there.
I'm making a
I'm
point.
a,
Is that
yeah, I
little
know, but there's only one
is that
mall in
little
Houston.
flip in the back?
That's Flipperacci. That's Zero, and that's Barrow, and
Man, that fly look dated, bro. How old was that fly?
this is about 10 years ago, man. That's
Oh,
Flip,
okay. I
that's
was gonna
Barrow,
say.
that's Lil Third, that's Chameleonaire, the Game, that's Paul Wall down there somewhere. That's one of the flyers I did years ago for one of his mixtapes that had all the people on there. But I think we were on there too. But um, there aren't any there aren't
I don't
there
think
aren't any
I
malls
don't.
in Houston. It hasn't been a mall in Houston, a mall inside the limits of Houston for like 10 years.
Say that one more time.
There hasn't there hasn't been there's only been two malls in the city limits of Houston. And that's stretching it because Sharpstown technically is on the border, but there's no malls in the city limits. It hadn't been for like 10, maybe 15 years.
Well, I'm all right. No, time out. Time out.
That's what I'm saying.
Time
So
out.
going
What time
that's
out?
not go to the mall. Ain't no malls
What time out?
to
What
go
time
to.
out? That's not. I don't know. I feel like you putting 100 on 10.
No. Look, the only mall in Houston is Sharpstown Plaza de Americas and the Galleria. There are no other malls anywhere in Houston. West Oaks Mall is outside the limits. Deerbrook, uh, what's that? First Colony,
All right, let's keep it a
uh,
buck. Let's keep
yeah, Alameda. They're outside the limits.
time out. Let's keep it a bean. If
Yeah,
that's the case, the only malls that you really had in Houston city limits, if you want to say that, it was
yeah.
Sharpstown, Westwood, and the Galleria.
No, Sharpstown, Westwood, Gulfgate, Greens,
Gulfgate,
not,
Greens Point,
North Line,
North
uh,
Line.
North Line. It was like
But
the one
North Line been closed, bro.
North Line didn't close; they remodeled and turned into an outdoor business park. What I'm saying,
North Line is by Delmar Stadium, am I correct?
no, North Line is on Cross Timbers.
Oh, okay, but then
Yeah.
all right, but
Another Northwest Mall. You know what I'm saying? That closed 2 years
Northwest
ago.
Mall was by.
About Delmar Stadium, cross the street.
But a
Yeah.
lot of these malls
Yeah.
been dead though, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like you asked me to go to the mall. I'm not trying to get off task, but I'm saying that there hasn't been malls to go to for the last 10 years.
That,
Like I said, I
that's
know
not.
North Line. I mean Northwest closed.
I don't think that's true, bro. I
I
think
just
you're
look,
exaggerating when you say there haven't been malls to go to in the last 10 years.
bro.
I
I just
think that's an
told you.
exaggeration.
I just told you we named there's two malls in Houston
Nah,
inside the
because
limit.
now because you're putting a caveat on it that's not fair because you're saying inside of the Houston city limits.
Yeah,
But when you say
I
that
would
out
drive to
loud,
Alameda, go
you're
to the
not
mall.
speaking about how large the Houston and surrounding areas is and where people live.
Okay,
So
if
I
I
think you
live,
got to throw the
hold up.
caveat on there. So I
Okay,
think
if
if
I
you want to
live,
really
if I,
make that comparison, you have to say Houston and surrounding areas because some of the reasons why some of those malls have died within the last 10 years is because of just the expansion of Houston and how people have moved out. They've moved out of the city
not
limits to
true,
the outskirts,
not
to
true.
the. What you mean? That's why you get the Katy Mills malls, the Woodlands malls, why they flourished a little bit more. Your first colony malls that have flourished because of people who have moved out. People
But
who
what I'm
moved
saying
towards
is people are
Seabrook.
moving into you're
Well,
saying
that's
that
just
what you're
recently
saying.
though. People are just recently now moving back in.
No. But you're saying that okay, there were people in Houston, right? And
I don't want to
I
debate the
wouldn't
mall
go too
thing, bro.
far. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want
But
to
I'm
do that.
saying that. Oh look, there are too many people in Houston, or there are a lot of people in Houston, and there are malls there to feed those people. Then maybe people moved to the outskirts of Houston, but the people that were living in Houston they didn't like stop. Like there was no empty spaces of Houston. The people that were living in those places that moved to Katy Mills or moved to Katy or moved to whatever, those slots were filled up. In fact, they're building more spots inside of Houston. You know what
So
I'm
no, no,
saying?
no, no, no.
So,
That's what I'm saying. 10 years ago, did we have a Pearland Town Center?
Pearland Towns, I don't know. I
We
can't
didn't.
say.
I'm telling you, we didn't. 10 years ago, we didn't have a Pearland Town Center in what it is now. Same
Yeah,
thing how the Woodlands Waterway has been built up. Same thing how First Colony. I remember when my T lady used to go to First Colony, bro, like 15 years ago, and there was nothing out there. And now that Sugarland area has expanded
yeah,
within the last 15 years, and you have more shopping on the outskirts. Same thing with like Copperfield, all that shit. So some
yeah,
of the malls inside the immediate city limits, they kind of
yeah.
died out because you had more people that
So,
moved out.
but the people still. What? So you're saying the people that were okay?
I'm
Okay,
saying
that's
that
another
there,
conversation.
it was
That's
it was
another
it was.
conversation for another pod, man. Because we can
I'm
talk about
saying I'm saying
demographics and
I'm
how they
saying
move
I'm
around.
saying no. What I'm saying, you're trying to say, well, it ain't been no malls in Houston and city limits the last 10 years, but you're glossing over the fact that the city grew, communities expanded in the surrounding areas, and these
Oh,
type of shopping centers have popped up that made the Sharpstown centers, the Alameda malls, the Northwest malls, the Greenspoint malls, they kind of died out.
I'm saying is okay. Let's start with this. I'm gonna okay. Put a timer on this so we can. I don't want to go too far. Okay,
But
so
because we got
uh,
away from the actual
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah. But I'm
The
saying in
actual point was
Greenpoint,
if you've been in the mall within the last year, and you'll see how many businesses, as far as retail, have closed their
yeah,
doors and not reopened, and it's because so many people shop online now, to where
okay,
it's
I
hard to
can kind of see
find
that
things in the mall now, and it's like, how much longer is the mall going to stay open for real? Not just a
I
mall in Houston city limits, any mall.
I disagree with you 100%, but
What you mean you disagree with me 100%? Like on what?
because okay, if I let's start with Foot Locker. Okay, if I go to Foot Locker, uh, there's a amount of shoes there I can look at, right? If I
Okay.
go online, I go to footlocker.com, I go to anything.com, right? Nike's not making shoes like, oh, I'm only making these shoes for online. Like I'm making a whole set of shoes that are going to the Foot Lockers and going to the Amazon. It doesn't matter how I feel most convenient buying the shoe. So I'm not like if I don't want to have to wait 3 weeks to go get the shoe or 2 weeks or 4 days, I can go to Foot Locker on whatever location and get that shoe because that shoe is a generic, even if it's a high end or low
You
end.
know I'm a lover of shoes, right? And we're going to
Yeah,
use your Foot Locker analogy.
yeah,
93% of the time, when I step one toe in Foot Locker, I can't
yeah.
find my size in the shoe I want. So what I do
But you're
is,
you're 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 a different breed though because
but
you
it's
have
not
you
it's,
don't
it's
have
not
average
just me though,
size shoe.
because it's
You
not
don't have a regular
no
size
no
shoe.
no it's not just me. I have associates who wear smaller size shoes. I've
Yeah,
shopped for my nephew who wears a smaller size shoe,
yeah,
and when we go into the store,
yeah,
90% of the time I don't find a shoe in my size I want unless I've already looked online and
yeah.
found which Foot Locker in the
Has it?
city has my
Yeah,
size.
yeah,
Still with that, 90% of the time, I have to order the shoe and I can pick up at store within 2 days. Or
yeah,
I can just buy the shoe and get it
yeah.
shipped to my house within the same time. So 93% of the time,
You're
when
making up
I
numbers.
purchase a shoe,
You're
it's
making up numbers.
delivered to my house. I'm not making up numbers. First off,
93%.
you can't tell me I'm making up a number when I'm telling you my shopping habits.
But that's too specific of a number. But
I'm
93,
I'm
bro.
telling you 90. I'm 93% of the time when I shop, I'm shopping online and it's coming to my house unless I need something for the day.
Yeah, I understand. What I'm saying, okay. So sticking with Foot Locker now,
But
the reason.
and to refute what you're saying, their numbers, you can go research it. the majority of your shopping is being done online. Like retail stores are actually closing brick and mortar stores because the majority of the shopping is being done online.
Are you familiar with WSS,
What is WSS?
the shoe store?
I don't know what WSS is. What is WSS?
WSS is a shoe store that has 90 stores nationally. It started in LA. It was a Latino brother selling shoes at the swap meet.
Okay.
So
What
he
kind of shoes does he sell?
he sells tennis shoes, basketball, just shoes, shoes for urban people
Is there
for the most part.
WSS in Houston?
There's several WSSs in Houston.
What kind of shoes does WSS sell?
They sell the same exact shoes that Foot Locker sells. You want to know
So if
why?
I want to go get my retros or my Yeezys, did I have to try to get a raffle for it to even get, and I have to get the raffle online. And once I get the raffle online, I get a number, and I go
Yeah.
pick the shoe up. If I don't get the raffle online, I have to order the shoe online.
You
There
can't
you
get Yeezys in the store, bro. So you can't.
So
talk
why
about
even walk
stupid
into
shit.
Foot Locker, bro?
Oh, but you look. There's no store you can get a Yeezy in.
That's not true.
No, there's if you want to get a first print Yeezy, the demand is so high for the shoe, they sell out online within hours.
I
So
can't
you're
even.
trying to
I
say,
can't even get a phone posit in the store, bro.
what you mean? What kind?
I can't. I can't get any phone posit in the store. I can't.
That's why not. I passed up on like 4 or 5 pair. I always pass up on phone deposits in the store.
How?
I can
You
tell you.
just told me you don't go to the mall.
I'm saying.
But you just
Not
told
in
me
Houston.
no.
Not in Houston.
You just told me you don't go to the mall. Nope. Don't try to put a
not in Houston.
don't try to put a not in Houston caveat on it now. You just told me you don't go to the mall because when I asked you my mall question, I didn't put
Yeah.
a caveat of in Houston. I said, when was the last time you've been to a mall? And you said, well,
And
I don't go to
I-
stores. Matter of fact, shit, it ain't been a mall in Houston in 10 years. Now
didn't-
you can't
you
backdoor
know,
and tell me
That's not what I
you
said
pass
exactly.
up on
trying
phone
to-
posits 4 or 5 times, but you just told me you don't go to the mall.
I said I have passed up on, and
When?
let me clarify my
When?
statements. Let me clarify so it makes sense. When you asked me about the mall, what I was saying is, well, I don't go to the mall that often because I don't buy things at the mall. But if I do go to the mall, it's usually because there's something that I have to get. There's something that somebody's sending me there. I'm going, like I have some of my distributors, they have stores in the mall. So I might go to pick up something or drop something off. So I'm not going to the mall particularly saying, hey, I'm going. And it's not, like I said, the reason why I know it's not no malls in Houston, because I know when I'm going to West Oaks or I'm going to uh, BFE to go to the mall, because the ones in Houston they were classically the Golf Gates, the Sharpstown, the ones that were in Greens Point, the North Lines, the Northwest, they're all closed down. But
It's still shoe stores.
Well-
It's a Hibbett Sports in Greens Point. Greens Point is still open. There's still
Greens Point
stores
is
in
open.
Greens Point.
It's open, but I mean, if you
I can
call
go
it
to
open,
Hibbett
then-
stores right now. I can go to Hibbett Sports in Greens
No.
Point. They got
Hibbett Sports
they got
open more.
Nah, I just went in there like
They're
3 weeks
closed.
ago. So they've
Huh?
closed in 3 weeks.
Psh, have you been to Green Point lately?
Yeah,
You know, I go to Harvest Time every week,
I went to
which is
Greens
right
Point
by-
and got my dashiki. I've been to Greens Point.
and like it's like 12 stores open in Greens Point.
That's
Is it
what I just
Hibbert?
said.
Oh, it's in the back, right? You're
It's
right.
in
You're
there.
right.
That's
It's
what I
all in
just,
the-
that's
all
what I
in the
just
back.
said.
You're right. It's all in the back. That is Hibbert Sports. I thought that was they got it. Anyway, um, continue your speech, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. I'm done. Let's talk about the Haitians in
The
Mexico. I saw you
Talk
had
about
Haitian. I saw you had Haitians in Mexico on your
Yeah, man, it's a bunch of Haitians in Mexico, and people have no idea why they're there.
I thought it had something to do with they were fleeing because of the conditions in the country, but wasn't there like a natural disaster that made them have to flee recently?
Well, yes and no. Yes, there was a natural disaster, and there was a double influx of Haitians. But people are trying to understand, or people don't understand, why the Haitians ended up in Mexico, and they're not like somewhere like Brazil or Central America or somewhere closer to Haiti, because Haiti is definitely closer to Florida, definitely closer to Brazil, closer to those places, which leads me to really to say people don't even know where Haiti is on the map.
So how did they get to Mexico? I don't want to go through the people don't know where Haiti is on the map. Educate us on why they're in Mexico.
Look, the reason why I love social media is because you get to see what people think without asking no questions. You can just I can just
Bug. Why the Haitians in Mexico? I
let me
want to
get
know.
that.
I want to know why they're in Mexico because I saw the pictures of the Texas Border Patrol on horses.
Overseers, yeah,
Yeah, looking like they
kind
were
of.
the
It was kind of
overseers.
misleading, but it was wrong. But somebody could get fired for that. But that was a
I
setup
you said
to
kind
get
of
me.
misleading. So I'm assuming that all we saw was photos of the guy on his horse with his rein, and it looked like he was swinging it
Yeah,
at the Haitian refugee. And I'm not gonna
yeah.
laugh because I don't want to make a joke about it. I saw
I'm
the
like,
photos, the optics that I saw,
yeah.
it looked
The
fucked
reason,
up. And I also know that you can have media. They will put these optics out here for reasons, and then we didn't see the full content. So I want to ask you your opinion of it.
my opinion was somebody needs to get fired first off because not only for the reins and the whips or whatever, because but secondly, like nobody had the foresight to be like, man, y'all gonna put them out on horses? Like somebody was like, the terrain is rough, so and so and so and so. We'll send them, put them out on horses.
Are you
Like on
familiar?
horses,
Are you familiar with how Border Patrol operates and patrols?
somewhat. But
So
somebody had the foresight to be like, no, we can't put on our horses, man, because
so
if anybody take a picture,
I've
it's gonna look
spent
a certain way.
I've spent time at the border. So the fact
Which border?
that the United States Mexico border,
I mean, that's a long border. Like where in particular?
like
Because in El Paso,
past
they ain't got nowhere to put horses to roam. To
past
roam
past Del Rio. So you know where
the
Del Rio is,
valley.
right?
Valley.
Yeah. So you know where Del Rio is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was past Del Rio. So I probably could have hiked to Mexico. That's how close I was. Close enough to the border
Yeah.
where I had daily checkpoints, and I would see the border patrol just on our prospect. The coyotes would pick up refugees fleeing Mexico to the point
Hmm.
where I saw like the little shirts and shit tied mapping the way to America. Like I could have walked to Mexico if I
So
wanted to.
you never been to Mexico?
I've been to Mexico before, yes.
Okay. Did you go that way? Did you? Where did you go into Mexico?
Well, I flew into Mexico.
Oh, okay. You never been through the border though.
So I didn't have to, but our prospects were so close to Mexico that
Yeah.
some of the terrain crossed Mexico, and we couldn't take trucks in. You had to either get in on horseback or ATV to just maneuver the terrain. So the fact that they said some of the border patrol agents were on horseback to
Yeah.
maneuver the terrain is true. I don't know how true it was in that setting of the photo that they took, but I
Yeah.
know that's a real thing. Like I was,
I know.
I was literally at RLZ in my because I was in seismic and oil and gas. I literally was in the LZ, and we had to use helicopter to get equipment in and out um of the prospect because you couldn't drive trucks. So we had to have people on foot, and we had to use ATVs, and we had to use helicopters by dropping and picking up bags. And in doing all of that, yes, you would run across border patrol who would be on ATVs and who would be on horseback. Like that's a real thing.
I agree. But what I'm saying is that somebody like, and this is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. It's funny because, like I said, the outrage, and this is what the whole cancel culture. Some of the outrage is like, why did they do that? And some people have no idea about the terrain, right? But somebody, I don't know who, but somebody gotta be like, hold on, okay. this is happening, this is happening. We can't have this. Like that's why they have people who get paid to like what's it called? I just went blank, but they have to know like, hey, for this period of time, we can't do this. We have to do something different. We have to do something because if this comes out like this, people are gonna take it one way. Like there's no because you have like I'm saying, you have so many, and this goes back to what I keep saying. You have so many people who only have a topical knowledge of something that all they need is a picture, all they need is a phrase, all they need is a word, and they're running with it. Like
It was bad
I,
optics though. You can't.
it was horrible
It was
optics.
bad optics. You can't fault someone for being emotionally moved and having an issue with an optic of a white man on horseback, and it looks like he's swinging his reins that he uses
That's
to
what I'm
control the
saying.
horse at a black man who's just trying to flee to safety. Like you can't get upset at the optic.
I'm
And
not
the
upset.
person who should be solely responsible is the young man on horseback who is doing his normal function of his job, but you don't have to be swinging the reins at the black man trying to flee to safety. Like
It's
you
this is
don't
like jail.
have to. And
It's
say it again. It's like who?
this is like jail. Like when people talk about like jail reform or prison reform, it's like you obviously never been in jail before because some of these like you assume that oh this is how it works and the prison guards say this or the guards say this and the prisoner does that and now man it is real like being a police officer like 80% of the people you deal with have an attitude with you just for you dealing with them, especially when they wrong. Like people be speeding and get mad for you stopping them for speeding, and you're expected to have a certain decorum, a certain what you call it. And even if you do have the decorum, you still be a pig motherfucker. You still be a low down dirty cop. You still be everything but a child of God.
I mean, that's just like my job, the field I'm in. I'm expected to have a certain measure of profession, be professional. And
But
if someone comes in my store and
mhm,
feels like that they got a bad vehicle value and call
mhm,
me everything but a child of God,
mhm.
I'm expected to react in a way that is still professional.
Are they gonna punch you?
Huh?
Are they gonna punch you?
I hope not.
Are they gonna swing at you?
I hope they don't.
Are they gonna throw things at you? Are they gonna
That
like?
none
What
of
I'm
that
saying is
matters, but they can come in and call me every name that they want to. I'm expected not to go back with them and call them every name back. I'm
but
expected to
I agree.
say, you know what, sir, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
If you don't like how we do business, you can go to the next business.
How often do they come in intoxicated?
I don't know about
Percentage,
intoxicated.
percentage wise, 20, 30, 50, 70.
Nah, probably one.
Well, and just I'm just making a comparison to say that
But
now,
but but
not
but
only are
but
they
time
doing
out.
this,
But time out.
yeah,
That's not a fair comparison because of the nature of the business that I'm in. I'm
that's
in
what
the
I'm
car
saying.
business.
I agree.
I'm not in the
I,
law enforcement business.
I agree.
Therefore, if I'm in the law enforcement business, I can't expect not to deal with unruly people or intoxicated people or inebriated people because the mere business that I am in, that's my duty to deal with those type of people, to deal with those type of situations.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But also, what I'm saying is that the element of the element of not knowing, because I don't know if this intoxicated person, well, it's three part. I don't know if the person is a violent person. I don't know if this person is, I don't know how this person is going to act under intoxicated.
Right.
Two, I may or may not have a history in front of me that says John was intoxicated last month and shot two cops. John was intoxicated and da da da. John did this. Three, I'm a human being, so I too, no matter how much I'm trained, like Navy SEALs get killed every day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying the training is not the antithesis to say that because you were trained, you're perfect. So not caping for the cops,
It's not
not
that,
saying
but at the same time, though, like
I'm just saying that
that's
there's
that's the business, that's the field you're in. So you should be trained on how to defuse these situations. You should be
There's
trained
no
on how to
there's no
defuse
training.
these situations and keep yourself and the detainee safe.
Okay,
And
watch
you
this.
have
Watch this.
and you're trained to act to have certain reactions to certain acts that you come across.
Okay, question. Let's say when we were working at the place that we no longer talk about,
Yeah,
you have a kid, right?
I have a kid.
He comes to you and says, "Mr. Aaron, I think you're stupid." He goes into his pants and takes some doo doo and throws it at you and hits you in the face with some doo doo.
Yep.
What's your next move?
Clean the doodle out of my face. Remove myself from the situation. Because if
Yeah,
I don't remove myself from the situation,
yeah,
I might cross the line.
yeah,
Now, I have the wherewithal to
yeah,
remove myself from the situation
yeah,
because that's that's part of the training
yeah.
that we received because of the job we signed up for.
Now, question. Next question. How many of your coworkers, compadres, do you think would have that same reaction? Do you think that all of them would, or do you think some of them would lose their stuff?
I think that I can safely say that I,
Yeah,
at the time I worked at the place that we won't mention,
yeah.
I never saw any of our coworkers cross the line by losing their shit when dealing with the kid.
We had a coworker that gave a kid a cocaine vial. If you forgot about that one,
That's different.
what you mean it's different, man? I'm just saying, like, my point being is that
So
if you,
so this same coworker you're speaking of who gave a
yeah,
child a cocaine vial also
yeah.
was in a hot tub with a kid. That's a different situation. You're
See,
you're talking you're talking about dealing with an irate kid, and then you brought up a situation of a staffer who was doing inappropriate things with kids.
yeah. So what I'm saying is that when you have large amounts of people doing things, there are gonna be times when, like, if you're saying that training, like, you think he wasn't trained not to get in the whirlpool with kids? You think he wasn't trained not to give kids things that might be like, but the discernment or the decision to make is not always based on my training. It should be. I agree with you 100%. And this is where I think people get lost in the conversation. Uh, the the training that you receive is the guideline. Now, does everybody follow the guidelines? No. When they don't follow the guidelines, should they be treated? Should they be punished as such? Yes. But qualifying the people by the ones that don't follow the guidelines or saying that, like, well, most of them don't follow the guidelines. I'm like, if that was the case, then it would be a bunch of kids with busted eyeballs or beat up kids. It'd be a bunch of people. Like, do you know how many stops they make a day? You know how many times they have to restrain people a day?
Yeah, but that's the
No.
reason why. But see, that's the whole reason why a lot of emphasis is put on when you're at work. You have to be mindful that you represent the company, and that's why these companies have strict social media rules and guidelines and things like that. Because you know what I'm saying, when I have on this Barbell Bully shirt, if this was a major corporation, and I
Yeah.
go out there at Olive Garden and I don't like
Mhm.
the service and I slap the fuck out the server, they're
Okay.
not looking at that as, oh, Aaron Williams slapped the fuck out of a server when they flash
Uh-huh.
that shit on the news. Then when they
Yeah.
flash it on the news, they're gonna be like, employee of X, Y, and Z slapped the shit out of a server because they didn't like the service.
I agree.
And
It's
that
unfair, which is very
situation
unfair.
and that situation right there is not a direct reflection on the principles and values of said corporation. That's someone acting roguely who
Yeah.
happens to work for you.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with the Border Patrol. The Border Patrol, how it sits, probably stops several threats a day, 24/7.
Yeah.
But
Which go unnoticed and
and untalked about.
unrewarded, you
And
know.
and the optics we saw was that one Border Patrol agent, because I didn't see 10. I saw one guy.
I
And
saw two guys.
it was two guys. I saw one. I only saw one guy. I only saw
Mm.
the one photo that they put side by side to the slave
Yeah.
wrangling photo. With that being said, if you know as a government some shit's going on and these refugees are trying to get in,
Hmm.
maybe we should sit down, have a huddle and a game plan. That's what we would do at work. If you know you have, hey man, we got some shit that's finna go on.
Hmm.
9/11 happened. They're gonna start sending kids from school. We have to be
Hmm.
prepared to receive them. We might have to receive some emotional kids. Sit down and get a game plan. I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure they had time to sit down and get a game plan. They
I'd
chose
also
they
say that
chose not to.
I agree with you.
But it's a lot of bullshit politics involved in all of this too, though.
Yeah, I'm going to say because it's also a point to say that also say that there's a whole network starting in South America and Brazil and Mexico and all these states that is grooming the Haitians and the other refugees on this is how you get through here. This is how you do this. When you get here, do this, do that. Teaching them or giving them the like literally what was that? What was it during was it Corona? I know it was during Trump's presidency. Literally what Trump was mad about, or one of the things that he was mad about was like these governments, these smaller countries in Central and South America were like, look, go to America, have your baby in America, then you don't have, then they can't throw you out or they won't put you out using our amnesty laws against us, saying like if you get pregnant and you're 6 months, 7 months, go to America. So, and what I'm saying is, it's not just simply my policy; it's also the fact that people are using these policies, and there's an educated, concentrated effort to succeed and to use these principles that we try to uphold against us, which segues to the next thing I want to talk
When you
about.
look into the history of Haiti, though, when you really dive deep enough in the history of Haiti and what European countries have done and have been a part of, including America, I it, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Haiti at one point was rich with resources, and I don't know the percentage of actual sugar that came out of Haiti that supplied the world, and they should have been just wealthy off of that alone. Yet they had to pay back a debt because of a slave uprising that killed X amount of slaves and said slave owners, and
mhm.
they had to pay a debt for what 100+ years,
Well, yeah, that was some of the BS that's kind of stuff they do. That I mean,
and they've never recovered from that, bro.
this is
And
not
then
untrue.
they asked for the money back. Like, yo, that really was some fuck shit. Like, y'all made us pay you back for fighting for our freedom. It's bankrupted us,
Mhm.
and y'all need to give us the money back. And then when you look at the origins of some of the banks who profited off of this,
Yeah.
Citibank is one of them. And that goes back to the whole thing about knowing your history and who you're doing business with. And
So,
if you really
question.
roll it out like that, people of color shouldn't be doing business with Citibank.
So, how many people of color do you think pulled out their accounts from Citibank upon hearing that?
I think a large number of people of color still don't actually know about the slave uprising in Haiti, let alone the debt they had to pay, let
And
alone how rich Haiti is of resources. But the other piece is
oh, but
I
after
don't
that, there's
no
no
no no
but
no
after
no
that.
because I don't think it's because everyone might not be a history buff like me and you.
You don't have to be a history buff, man, to understand that. Like, I don't have to be a history buff to know that this company is around because they abused people. And once, like, I have to know the history of
I'm
Haiti,
but see
I
I'm
gotta be a history buff for that, bro.
some
It,
people
it's
yeah it
all,
was some people probably don't know the history of Haiti. I'm gonna keep
I'm
it a
pretty
buck with
sure
you.
a lot of
There are
people don't know history.
probably a lot of people of color in
Yeah.
America who aren't of Haitian descent, and they don't know the history of Haiti. I wasn't taught the history of Haiti in school. I learned the history of Haiti through me just wanting to know more about who I am and people of color around the world. There are a lot of things about people in the Indian culture or even people in Jamaica. I don't know the full history of that. I'm pretty sure if I sat down and dug deeper into that, I would find out some shit, and I'm like, man, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I'm 40 and I'm still learning. I'm pretty sure at 40, there's so many topics when it just comes to how people of color have been oppressed in the world that I'm not familiar with. And
I agree. I think that the older you get, the less you know.
said it again,
And
the older I get, the less I know.
the older you get, the less you know.
Well,
Because
I think you have to actively seek it out. And I think when you look at just your normal American, or not even American, just your normal person who's trying to survive the hustle and bustle of everyday life, like I know for me, just keeping up with my life and not
Mhm.
being selfish, but just, work, family, making decisions, dealing with life as it happens. It's hard, bro. That in itself is a full-time job. So some of this stuff and some of this knowledge requires people to have time to dig deep and, have a love for it or want to know about it. I don't think you can fault somebody for not knowing, because they're trying to manage life.
it's not necessarily faulting them. It's just like I said, welcome to the world, or welcome to, like, not welcome to the world, but sometimes when you know things, certain commentary, it's like perfect example. Perfect. I'm not saying it no more. Here is a vivid explanation of what I'm trying to say. When you hear someone talking about a football game or who's the best linebacker, and they just say a name that's popular. Oh, Patrick Stewart, or Patrick whatever, right? It's like he's cold because he had these 3 cold years with the 49ers. And you like, well, Mike Singletary revolutionized the position because he, or you talk about, Ronnie Lott, or you talk about, I'm sorry, not Ronnie Lott, Lawrence Taylor, or Carl Banks. You have a working knowledge and understanding greater than the surface. So you have surface answers that might kind of fit, but there's knowledgeable answers that are layered and have there's reasoning and roots and why you have. And so sometimes for me it's not a struggle, but it's like you got to sit back and just listen to people talk, because people know what they know,
But with that being,
regardless if they know or not.
but with that being said, if I'm talking to a 28, 29-year-old and I say, man, who was the best linebacker? And he told me Patrick Willis,
Yeah.
I can't knock them for telling me Patrick Willis because at 28, 29, they grew up watching an NFL where Patrick Willis dominated and innovated at linebacker. They
I
didn't
can't
see.
I can't always showing that,
Time out.
man.
Time out. Time out. Time out.
No, I can't
Time
always with
out.
that
Let me
because I know
finish. Let
about
me
I know
finish.
about
Let me
I know about Mr. P
let me finish
giving them pass. Keep going.
because they don't know. They didn't see, bro. They didn't see Lawrence Taylor. They didn't see Lamar Lathan. They didn't
Hmm.
see Greg Lloyd. They didn't
Yeah.
see Kevin Green. They didn't see those players.
Yeah.
So
So
prime example prime example, if you ask a nigga who the GOAT is, they gonna tell you Tom Brady. But then I'll say, hold on, we'll talk about. Have you ever seen Warren Moon play quarterback? Bro, they can't tell you about Warren Moon. They don't know.
so
They don't know because they didn't see him.
so
They can't
what that mean?
they can't tell you about Montana because they're telling you about who
What
they
they know.
saw in their lifetime, what they know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I kind of agree but disagree, because I'm
It's
like,
a nigga
I
who
I
played
nah, bro.
for. It's a
I
nigga
never
who
saw
played for the
Kareem playing this
Colts.
time.
It's the nigga who played for the Colts that probably was way colder than Tom Brady. I don't know the nigga because I ain't seen him play. What, Johnny Unitas? Ain't that his name?
He was cold, but he was a different type of player.
But how you
But
know? But how do you know?
because I researched it, I
But
looked it up,
did you
and
see him play?
I gotta see him play to look at his numbers, and I gotta look at his numbers,
I
look at the commentary, look at the
no,
commentary on him.
numbers don't mean shit because of how the game evolved.
That's what I'm saying. Look at his numbers. Look at the way he was commentated. Listen to other players
But
who were around.
if you ask me who the GOAT quarterback was, I'm not gonna tell you Johnny Unitas. I'm gonna tell you Joe Montana.
That's your opinion,
It is,
and it's valid. But all I'm saying is that your opinion has more weight because you can say, well, you could tell me it's Joe Montana because this, that, and the other. You're not going to tell me it's Joe Montana because that's all you've seen.
No. If I ask one of these 29-year-olds right now who the GOAT is, they're gonna tell me Brady, and they're gonna throw numbers out there. The biggest number they're gonna throw is rings, right?
Maybe, yeah.
That's the biggest number they can throw over Montana is rings. Outside of that, they can throw stats out there because Tom Brady has played longer.
But he doesn't have stats like you don't have stats like Dan Marino. You don't have stats like
Dan Marino don't have the rings though. And he's played longer than Dan Marino, so he's accumulated better stats than Dan Marino.
No, he has more. He has a larger number of stats, but he doesn't have like the yards per game. It's not like Marino. The most yards, not like he doesn't like some. The stats are not. It's not just one stat. It's a myriad of stats and there's different ways that you qualify.
Yeah,
stats.
but when you look at
the 20 years or 5 years,
if you open up, but if you open up the stats, you got to follow more than just the per game stat. There are overall career stats. Yeah. I mean, there stat lines that Tom Brady has surpassed Marino at,
and there's some that he hadn't caught Marino in. So
they're very, very few.
Tom Brady he's the statistical leader in some stats. But he's not the overall statistical leader in all stats.
No, there's not one quarterback who overall leads in every stat. You can,
there are players in basketball who are the overall statistical leaders in a bunch of stats.
Okay, we're going too far.
No. I'm saying what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is if you're saying you're forgiving somebody for not knowing, I'm like,
that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying
okay.
I'm forgiving someone for not knowing. What I'm saying
you're saying because they don't know because they ain't never seen somebody play. I ain't never seen Johnny Unitas play.
You got it, bro.
See, there we go. I'm saying
because you're not. I don't think you're hearing the full point. What I'm saying, I'm not saying I'm forgiving someone who doesn't know. I'm saying everybody doesn't know everything. Some people are gonna judge by the stats that they see, from what they saw, and then the stats I see on paper, and then I can only reference what I've read or what I see, and I've seen this person pass, X person on the stat chart. Well, he's the GOAT because I've seen him play. I've seen him do amazing things on the field. I never saw Dan Marino actually play. I see his numbers. I see he has high numbers over here, but my guy is beating him in 4 or 5 out of these, stats. Plus, he got 6 rings. This man ain't got 0. This man got 0 rings. So, he ain't the GOAT. My guy over here is the GOAT because I've seen it, and I see the stats. They're better than his over there. And that's all I'm saying. And you're going to get a different perspective. You're going to get a different perspective from people who've seen different eras of sport or life or period. You're going to get somebody to tell you Ali is the greatest. You're going to get somebody that's going to tell you that Tyson was the greatest. You're going to get somebody that's going to tell you Mayweather was the greatest.
I disagree with the way you're putting it, though, because the reason why I disagree is because I'm saying that you're saying that if somebody is going to use stats as, let's say I never saw Bill Russell. I think LeBron James is the greatest player, right?
Yeah.
And I say, well, Bill Russell got 13 rings. Is that person immediately going to be like, okay, he'd go then?
There's some people who feel like Bill Russell should be included in that conversation, and he's the GOAT because he has rings as a player and coach.
I asked you a question. I said the person who said LeBron James was the GOAT, and my counter is, well, Bill Russell has 13 rings. Is he the GOAT now because he has 13 rings? That we like.
If that's the point, if that's the point you're trying to make, to say why you're saying your guy should be considered the GOAT over the other guy, then that's the point in the metric you're using for your
argument. What I'm saying
I can't tell you you're right or wrong over your metric and how you feel.
No, what I'm saying is, what the point you made is that you said you can't tell that a person who's never seen somebody play is allowed to have an assumption based on what they've seen only. And I'm telling you that,
But
well,
that's
I
not what I
never saw.
said. I said
Okay, let me
I
say then.
said that person is taking into consideration they actually saw, they have reference to the stats and what's happened in the past, but
Mhm.
they actually saw this person play, and that's gonna sway their judgment a little bit more too. So
Well,
I've seen
that don't make sense
I
though.
lived and saw Jordan and LeBron play.
Yeah,
So my GOAT take is Jordan over LeBron.
yeah,
I didn't see Bill Russell play.
yeah.
So therefore, I know the stat. I know what he's done on the court.
So you can ignore the stat
I'm
because you
not
didn't see it.
ignoring the stat. I'm not ignoring what he did on the court. But just like LeBron, people who are saying LeBron is the GOAT, but they're saying, oh, well, it's a different NBA. So I think LeBron is the GOAT because of A, I've physically seen it. B, it's a different NBA. He's leading X, Y, and Z in stats. Those are some people. And then your Jordan guys are saying, well, I saw the NBA Jordan played in. It was tougher than
Mhm.
what LeBron plays in. Plus, 6 rings. He's the GOAT. Until you get 6 rings, you know what I'm saying? You're not the GOAT. And then, oh, he got 6 rings on one team. You had to switch teams. You had to partner up. He did it organically with a team that was drafted and how he did it. Though, you know what I'm saying? There's someone out there who's going to have metrics like that and say, well, hold on, time out. Bill Russell played in a completely different NBA with X amount of rules. He did X, Y, and Z. That's why he should be the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? People are going to have their different perspective on these topics because A, of what they've witnessed, and also taking into consideration the stats, and then they formulate their own opinion. I can't
I'm,
say you're
I'm
right
saying
or
that because
wrong about said opinion at all.
I,
Now, if you just
I,
tell me Steph Curry to go, just it's because I feel like he'd go because he shoots good from three, that's bullshit.
but I'm saying that I can say if you tell me that if a person tells me Robert Ory should go to the Hall of Fame because he got 7 rings and he hit big shots, and I'm like, well, there are other players who have more rings than him who have hit big shots as well, and you say I didn't see them, so I'm not considering them, then I can say with all validity that your take is bullshit because
But
you're
that's
just
not what I
taking.
said, Book.
No, I'm
I
not
didn't
saying you
say
said
that.
that. I'm saying is that the caveat of seeing somebody only bears merit to one person's point of view. It's
But
not over. It's not an overall.
the argument that you're trying to make is not what was presented. So that's
I, s-
not what was
oh,
presented. So
you
so
said you
argue the
hold,
point
hold,
that was
hold on.
argue the point that was presented.
Okay, you said
Don't
you
because
said
what you
hold on.
just told me when I said book, that's not what I said. You said
I'm
I
gonna
know
I'm
that's
gonna
not
try
what
to
you said,
clarify.
and now you
You
telling
said
me
that.
what you said.
Okay, you said that if a teenager tells you that Patrick Willis is the best linebacker, right?
Yes,
That you said that well they haven't seen other linebackers.
it's not what I said.
Okay, what you say then about that?
I said you can talk to 28, 29-year-old who
Yeah,
witnessed what Patrick Willis did.
yeah,
They may know the stats of Lawrence Taylor. They may know the stats of Greg Lloyd. They may know the stats of Lamar Lathan, but they didn't
yeah,
physically witness what Patrick Willis did. They witnessed Patrick Willis take the position of linebacker
yeah.
to a different level. And he
Okay,
did. He took the position of linebacker from what it was to a different level to where you have some of these hybrid linebackers now. He wasn't the only one that did it, but he was one of the ones. And I'm not
okay,
saying he is, but I'm saying as someone who grew up watching Patrick Willis,
yeah.
to them, he might be the GOAT linebacker, and that's why. They might be aware of the Lawrence Taylors, of the Lamar Lathans, of the Al Smiths, all those guys, but they didn't witness it, so they didn't see the impact. I might be sitting here like, well, damn, bro. I saw Lawrence Taylor play, and I saw Patrick Willis play. And yeah,
Yeah.
Patrick Willis did revolutionize the game of linebacker, but Lawrence Taylor did it first. It may be a different type of revolution that he did where he was like a
Yeah.
hybrid linebacker slash safety,
Yeah.
but Lawrence Taylor was a hybrid linebacker slash edge rusher.
Yeah. So, question: why would you allow, or why would you say that their opinion on the situation? What makes you think? Well, since they didn't see it, they're allowed to be like because they didn't really see it. They went because I'm saying like even if they didn't live through it, like there's not a era of any American sport that you can't go watch. There's no era you can't go watch.
I mean, that's cool too. But if I go watch film of Johnny Unitas, that game is gonna be trash. I'm gonna be like, yeah, he's not doing anything close to what Aaron Rodgers can do with the football. He can't.
I disagree. In certain instances, I disagree. I disagree a lot because I mean, how many? I mean, there are some players,
And I'm
like
using that as an
Kelsey.
example, but you
Yeah,
definitely
I
can go
know.
back and watch basketball in the '70s to now, and there are distinct differences in the game that's played. So
Yeah,
it's foolish to say that the game hasn't evolved into something more complex.
what I'm saying is, and we can move on after this. After you rebuttal what I say just now, what I'm gonna say, you have people like Pistol Pete, people like Calvin Murphy, people like Dr. J, who average 30 and 40 points a game with no 3-point line. So saying that the game has evolved, like what would they have averaged with a 3-point line? What would
But you would
so
have,
saying
but you would have to assume they had a 3-point shot.
what you mean? You can see it, you can watch it. That's what I'm saying. You can watch him shoot from half court with regularity. You can watch the 3-point line came to the NBA in 88, 80, well, no, yeah, 80 something.
And that's fine. It's not their fault that they played in the game without a 3-point line. And
I'm
now
not
you have a
saying
game with a 3-point line where you have to be versed in certain aspects with the 3-point shot, the mid range shot, and you can finish at the basket. Like it's
but I'm
not
saying
the
they
player's
did
fault.
all that back
But
then.
all right, but if I'm measuring, like you can't fault someone who's measuring what they witnessed in what the game is today versus that. And you can say, oh, well, the game's harder now than it was then. It's the
I'm
argument
not
that
saying
people
none of that.
have.
I'm just saying
It's
that
the argument that people have with LeBron versus Jordan. Like at the end of the day, there is no right or wrong answer to someone saying, "Oh, I think X, Y, and Z is the go." There's no right or wrong answer, bro, because
it's
the
not, but
majority, the
there
majority,
are wrong answers, bro. But
there
you
is no
can't say
right,
that
there is no right or wrong
Robert Ory
answer,
ain't the GOAT.
bro. Like all I'm
You
saying
can
is
throw out
this:
names that don't belong in the
there's
conversation.
there's no right or wrong answer because it's
Yeah,
all up to the stat the person wants to pull and the opinion that they have.
but there's
Because
no stat you can pull
you
for something. You can't
you
pull a
have
stat
some
on
people
Mitch Richmond.
you have some people that say the measuring stick of being the GOAT is championships. And if you want to pull that
But
that and I'm
that's
saying
crazy, bro.
no, I'm
What you're
not
doing
saying
is
listen to what I'm saying. See, this
I know.
you try to make everything like a logical this, that, and the third. I'm not
Why can't it
saying
be I gotta be logical, bro,
listen to
because you
what
can
I'm
say
saying.
anything that ain't logical.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying I believe this.
I
I'm telling
know.
you, when people want to make an argument about something, they'll go find any stat that they can find to back what they're saying.
And that's illogical. That's what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying you're saying that. What I'm saying is that if you saying that, okay, I can go find this stat that says this to back my argument, which I agree with. You could find a stat to back your argument, but does that stat have bearing in the grand scheme? Like, yeah, Robert Ory got 7 rings. And I can and no, but no logical thinking human being is gonna be like because he has 7 greens, he is the GOAT. He's in the
No,
same conversation with Michael Jordan. You can't not logically because you had 7 rings, but your contribution to the game was 7 points a game. So there's no way in the world my 6 rings and 30 something points a game is less important than your 7 points a game. Like that's logical. So there's a
yeah,
logic
but
involved in it, bro.
I feel like that's cool. But if I'm talking to somebody and we're having a GOAT argument or conversation, and if they want to pull a stat, I can tell them like, nah, bro, I feel like that's some bullshit. We know Robert Ory isn't the GOAT, and then I'll give them other stats to go along with the championships. But at the end of the day, it's not my duty to tell somebody they're wrong.
It's
Like
not about the duty. It's about like I'm saying.
it's not my duty to tell you, bro.
The way
It's
that you're
it's way
presenting
it's
it,
it's
bro,
it's
like
way
anybody say
it's like
anything,
way
man.
more important shit than me arguing to somebody about their stat of why they're saying someone is the GOAT, bro. If you want to believe that man the GOAT and you got 10 stats to pull of why you think that man the GOAT, bro, that's your opinion, man, and that's how you feel. Like it's not me. It's
Your
not. It's
opinion
not
can
my.
be wrong.
Bro, it's not. Bro, it's not my job to be like, oh no, hey
Who
man.
said that? Who said? But see, you putting a caveat. I'm not saying it's my job. I'm just saying that if you say something crazy that make no sense whatsoever, and I'll be like, that don't make no sense. You can't fall back on. It's my
But it
opinion.
doesn't
Yeah,
make any
you're
sense to.
wrong.
It don't make no sense to you, Book. It might
That makes
make
sense to nobody.
No. It doesn't make sense. No. It doesn't make
It's
sense
not
to
logical,
you.
bro.
It doesn't make sense to you, Book. It might
It's
make
not
sense.
logical,
It
bro.
doesn't make sense to you. It might make sense to someone else, and it ain't the Robert Ory thing. I'm saying whatever that point is, and it's with certain things. If
What
it,
I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying. So just to clarify, what I'm saying is that if we're having the conversation, I understand about opinions and how you can feel a certain way and the way that you grew up and the things you saw, things you didn't see. I understand that, but I'm saying that when we're talking about being logical, like I can't just say because like it's not logical to say, well, I never saw that or I've never seen this before. So because I've only seen this, this is what is the best. When I come to you and be like, nah, it's the stuff.
you're grabbing the example that I use of someone witnessing something, and
Yeah.
you're taking that one piece of what I said and running with it like that's all I said.
Or
That was
anything.
just no.
Forget that part.
Time
Let's say,
out. Stop.
forget the
No.
opinion part.
I'm not gonna let you do that. That was
Okay, go ahead.
one piece of the point that I made. You took that one piece and you ran with it like I was saying. That's what it was. There were complex pieces to the take that involved multiple things, and the
All right.
witness was just one part of it, Book.
All right. I'm sorry. Take the witness part out of it.
You
What
can't
I'm
take
saying
it
is
out
that-
because it was more. It was layered. It just
I'll take
wasn't
that for
one
me.
take.
I'm saying the layering. What I'm saying is being logical. Being logical when we're comparing things, whether it be the best this or who is, however you're comparing it. If the only comparison point is my personal belief, then there's no conversation to be had at all.
And no,
There's no conversation to be had. And so and from what I'm gathering from what you're saying is like, bro, you can just say whatever you want. That's your opinion.
that's not.
And me,
Again, my nigga, that is not what I said. That is
what are
nowhere.
you saying then?
I
Because if I
just
say your
told
opinion's
you,
wrong,
bro. I just told you. I said it was layered, bro. And I gave you examples of people who pull stats. They pull stats and things
but I
they
just said
witness.
that don't make no that don't I don't care if somebody pulls stats to support their
Time
opinion.
out. If your opinion
Yeah.
is Bill Russell's the GOAT,
Okay.
A, do you think that's a logical opinion? I'm just asking.
It's very logical.
Okay, all right, great. So someone can have the opinion that Bill Russell's the GOAT, and they
Yeah.
can go pull supporting facts. And one of those supporting facts could be I witnessed Bill Russell play, along with the supporting.
Not a fact. That's an opinion.
Listen to what I'm saying, Book.
You just said it's a fact, it's not a fact, it's an opinion. Me
The
seeing
fact,
somebody play is an opinion.
Book, can I finish my statement, please?
Okay, keep going. But you said you said something that's not true.
It's not a fact that I witnessed him play. That's not a fact. I can't say the fact.
The fact that you seen him play doesn't qualify him for nothing. That's just what you saw.
But that's what I'm saying. You're taking one piece and you're running with it, and you're
No,
omitting.
I'm just you can't put that in as being a qualifying statement. You acting like you're getting frustrated, but you saying something that doesn't make
You're
sense.
not even. How does it not make sense, Book?
Because you saying that I saw him play as a qualifier to say why I think he's the GOAT is just that's just all that's just
Well, let me ask you a question.
100% your opinion.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you
Yeah.
why I feel like he's the GOAT,
Okay.
I'm giving you the stats,
Okay. Game stats.
and I'm giving you what I witnessed. Is that not? Can that not be added into my argument?
Oh, okay. So explain to me the part about what you witnessed. What are you saying what you witnessed?
Because I saw it. Not only do I have the stats that I'm comparing to other players, but man, I saw what Bill Russell did on the court with a basketball, and that shit was crazy. That shit was nobody else was doing it at the time he was doing it.
Okay.
How is that not a part of my opinion that he's the GOAT?
That's what I said.
I'm asking you, how is that not?
But I agree with you, bro. I'm agreeing with you. You hear what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you. That's part of your opinion. Part of your opinion is not part of the facts. That's
None
part
of this shit
opinion.
is fact because all of it is how I digest the state.
The fact is he
all
has 13 rings.
all of it, all of it.
Defensive rebounding. The fact is that's facts. Me seeing him play, that's opinion.
All
because somebody else, like you said, somebody could say I saw so and so play, and he was cold too. You're mixing fact and in that one instance, just that one instance, you're mixing opinion with fact because you just said it yourself. That's my opinion. Your opinion is part of your fact.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is we can't argue opinion. Like I'm agreeing with you.
You can't argue none of this
argue.
shit, and that's what I'm saying, because all of this shit is how someone looks at the stats or whatever it is, and how they digest it and want to give it back to you.
All
That's
right.
all of
Okay.
this shit. If you listen
Okay.
to
So
Nick, if you listen to Nick Wright every day, Nick Wright will find a stat that says LeBron James is the greatest person to ever walk the earth. Now,
and those are mundane. Those are.
but listen
those
to what I'm saying. A part of his fact is the way he digests it and he gives it to us. So you can say all of that shit is his opinion, but he's taking facts and he's giving it to you as his opinion to make you sound like LeBron James is the best person to ever walk the face of the earth. All I'm saying is, if someone wants to champion something, they're going to go find a fact. They're going to go find something that supports their argument. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter if I know LeBron.
If it makes sense or not.
It doesn't matter if I know Tracy McGrady was better than Robert Horry. If it's somebody who is a Robert Horry fan, I'm pretty sure they can go find you 10 stats that will show them that Robert Horry was better than Tracy McGrady.
So can we come to the agreement on that some facts are not as important as others?
We never disagreed about that.
Okay, if we agree that some facts are not important as others, then some facts.
But that's our opinion, though.
No.
No, that's our opinion.
No, what I'm saying is the fact that Robert Horry,
get off of Robert Horry. Get off of Robert Horry. The thing is that get off of any.
Okay, you're right.
Get off of any of that.
The fact that
this is the thing. This is the thing. No. I'm saying get off of all of that. We can't say we aren't the fact police, so we can't tell somebody that fact is bullshit. Like we're not the fact police.
But the fact can't be
because if you feel like the fact is bullshit, that's your opinion.
No, the fact
it is.
No, it's not. Because
give me a bullshit stat.
A bullshit stat. LeBron James has the most.
I don't want to know a name. Just give me a bullshit stat.
So and so player has the most 2-point shots in the first 1 minute of the game.
And who makes that a bullshit stat? You or the people who or the statisticians?
The reason why is the fact doesn't have bearing.
Who makes bullshit? Is it your opinion or is it the statistician? Is it your opinion? Is it your opinion or the statistician?
The fact.
Is it your opinion? Is it your opinion or the statistician?
No opinion involved in it. The fact is that the game is not won in the first 2 minutes. The game is not decided in the first 2 minutes. So you telling me about something that doesn't have a poignant deciding factor on the entire game is anecdotal, man. It's just like, that's something that happened.
Can I ask you a question?
It doesn't. Yes, sir.
What if my scoring in the first 2 minutes of the game put us on a 10-0 run, and every time I score 4 points in the first 2 minutes of the game, we go on a 10-0 run and we win that game? Is that a bullshit stat still?
You would okay.
I'm asking, is that a bullshit stat?
No, it's not.
So does that? So would that stat have a bearing on the entire game?
If that was the case, yes, it would.
So how can we say that's a bullshit stat?
Because you would have to have those stats on top. Because like saying that, okay, I do this and every time I do that we win the game. That has bearing. That's a very logical stat. It makes sense. When I score the first 2 points, we usually go on a 10-point run. We win 75% of the games that we play when that happens. Cool. That's a very viable stat. In the finals, I scored the first 2 points of the game every game for the last 10 years, and I've lost 4 out of the last 10 finals. Then that stat doesn't mean anything because it had no bearing on the outcome of the game. So that stat is useless and is BS. And you've just proven to me why.
No, because it's all layered. Because you're taking just one part and you're saying it's BS.
Oh. But I'm saying that the stat doesn't have a bearing on the outcome of the game.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They have statisticians. They take stats. It's their job. Take stats.
Yeah.
And you as a analyst of the game, you have any stat is there to use to analyze any player's game.
Yes.
So if it's a tool to use to analyze the player's game and they're using it to analyze the player's game, and they come up with different stats and talking points, who are you to say said stat is bullshit? It's not. It's just a stat that they
I
use.
just qualified you.
You didn't
Why?
qualify
I,
because somebody
I
can.
told you because the stat doesn't have a
But
bearing
that's
on
your
it. It
opinion,
has to
though.
have what you mean
Bug, that's
opinion?
your
The
opinion,
fact,
bro.
no, bro. The fact is, if this stat doesn't have bearing on the
First off, you're
outcome of
not
the
even
game,
talking about a real stat.
there's
So if you're gonna use
that's what
an
Nick Wright does. Nick Wright's like LeBron James scored 12 points in every first quarter of blah blah blah.
and
That
if
means
Nick Wright
in it,
if Nick Wright ever threw that stat out, he's not gonna say, "Oh, LeBron James to go" because he scored 2 points in every first quarter of every game. He's probably gonna say every game that LeBron James has scored 2 or more points in the first 2 minutes of the game, his teams have went on a run and they've won 90% of said games. He's gonna give you that stat, and you can't say it's a bullshit stat because it's a stat he researched. And
but
all I'm
what I'm saying,
saying is,
hold
who
on,
are
hold on, but
you
start
to
right
tell
there.
him it's a
But what I'm
bullshit
saying
stat?
is, if that stat is true, then you have to say, okay, well, if this is the case, then he should have won 90% of his games, but he didn't. So at the end of the day, this stat is antidotal. It
It's
only
not
fits
because
in certain pockets.
the stat would be every game that he scored 2 or more points within the first 2 minutes. Like they've done the research.
But it's antidotal research, bro.
All right,
What I'm
you got
saying,
it.
you not hear what I'm saying. What I'm
I
saying
hear
is
what you're
that
saying.
if this if the stat doesn't align, like you can have a stat that says this guy is the goal for this reason. But if this stat doesn't align with the general overall, because at the end of the day, the overall stats is wins and losses, championships, non-championships, my point total, my defensive rebound, my these overall stats. If you have these stats that say that you're the best in the world at this, but then the overall stats compared to other players in the league don't even up, how does your stat, this one stat right here that makes you look great, and you don't have the results, you didn't yield the results to say, well, since you're that great, how come you don't have 10 championships? How come you don't have some? I'm talking about any player.
So let me ask
If
you
it
a
doesn't
question.
if it line
Who
up, then that means
who
that stat was
what
antidote. It was a
where can you reference, or where is it referenced where these stats matter, these stats don't, when talking about the GOAT of whatever sport?
what I'm saying is when we're
No, I'm
talking about,
asking you. No, I'm not. I'm asking you.
where does it say that?
Where can you find a where can you is there, who's the authority?
Is there authority over
Who's the
who
authority
say what?
of the guidelines of saying this is what we're looking at when we're judging who is the GOAT of whatever?
Well, there's an unspoken rule of logic.
And who is the authority of that unspoken rule of logic?
It depends on where you're at,
Because it depends on what?
the audience, who's
And
talking.
when you're depending on the audience and who's talking, what is that measuring stick going to be? It's
That
going to,
measures going to be what the 2, 3, 8, 9 parties are talking about. Like how
it's their
how like
mindsets and pretty much their opinions of what their mindsets and their opinions of what they're judging, and
what I'm saying.
how they decipher the stats that they're going through.
But are you asking me how are we judging a debate, or are you asking me what are the rules of a debate?
It's not about a debate. It's
Well, I'm
about,
saying,
because you're
and we
saying,
have a disagreement on something. So what are the rules are we going by?
because you're saying these stats don't matter for this reason, but these stats do matter because of this. All I'm saying is you don't have a true, concise guideline of what we're going to use, or what's the measuring stick to say this person is the GOAT of this sport, whatever. So if you don't have that, because all of
That's the
that,
conversation, though.
no,
The
because
conversation is saying,
all of that is determined by how said analyst interprets the stats and pass the eye test. If passing the eye test was never a thing, you wouldn't even have the phrase, bro.
what I'm saying is that when me and you or Skip and so and so or John and Greg are having a conversation, and they say, well, this is how I feel, this is how I feel, and so then at that point we are just we're trying to figure out, okay, well, what's the medium point to where we can, because if we just say what you feel and what I feel, then we leave the conversation with is, I know how you feel, now you know how I feel. But
Have you ever had mountain oysters before?
no, I haven't. Well, I don't know, maybe. I don't think so though. I'll
But
say no.
no. I want you to tell me yes or no. Have you had mountain oysters before?
I've had oysters before. I don't know what
Have
kind
you
they
had
are.
mountain oysters before?
I've had oysters
No,
before. I
see,
don't know what
this is
kind they
why I
were.
don't even understand why you just can't tell me yes or no. If you
But I've
ask
had
me,
oysters before.
time out. If
I'll
you
say no. I'll
time
say
out,
no.
time out. If you
No.
ask me, and this
Yeah.
is why we get to where we get to discussions. If you say, Aaron, have you had mountain oysters before?
Yeah.
I can tell you yes or no. I can say, you know what? No, Book. I've never in my life had anything called a mountain oyster. Okay?
And I'm saying that I've had oysters before.
That's
I
not what
wasn't
I asked you.
particularly sure about what kind of oysters
I
they
didn't
were.
ask
That's something
you
else.
if you had oysters before. If I say, have you had mountain oysters before? You
Yeah.
either know yes or no, I've had a mountain oyster
How?
before,
How?
or
I
I
just
have
told you
not.
not. No, I just told you. I said yes. I've had oysters before.
I didn't
Were
ask you
they
if you've had
mountain?
oysters. I said, have you had mountain oysters before? Yes or no?
But I, but I just told you
Yes
I
or
don't
no?
know what kind of oysters they were. So they could have been. They could not have been. What you want me to tell you?
I want you to
Tell you
tell me
why?
because I want you to tell me if you know for a fact you've had them or not. Yes or no?
I don't know for a fact. No, I do not know
So
for a
you
fact.
have not had mountain oysters before.
I do not know for a fact that I've had mountain oysters before.
So have you had mountain oysters before?
I do not know for a fact that I have not had I have had. I do not know for a fact that I have had mountain oysters before.
So is that yes or no?
I do not know for a fact that I have not had that I have. I don't. Bro, how you gonna make me say something that
I just
I'm
want you to say yes or no. Have you had them, bro?
okay? So if I'm telling you that I've had oysters before, and you telling me, oh, were they mountain, and I'm like, I don't know. What you want me to say? I don't know.
Hey, have you had pizza before, man? Yes or no?
Yes, I've had pizza before.
All right, great. You've had pizza before.
Okay. Yes.
So, what if someone said, "Hey, man, you know what? I had pizza before. Pizza is the goat food
Yeah.
in the world."
Yeah.
But he's talking to someone who's never had pizza before.
Yeah.
So he's never witnessed tasting pizza before to know if it was the goat food or not. Now he's read commentary on foodies, and he's seen
Yeah.
stats where the Chicago hot dog was consumed more than the New York pizza because it's more
Mhm.
versatile
Yeah.
when walking to a baseball game to eat it.
Okay. Makes more sense. That makes sense. I can see
But
that.
he has never witnessed tasting and folding a pie. So he doesn't know. So to
Doesn't know.
him, he's seen the stats where the
Yeah.
pizza is up there at the top, but his Chicago style dog is the GOAT. And he's rolling with that because what? He's witnessed it.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, while it might not be a fact for everyone, for him,
Yeah.
he's read the stats. He's seen the versatility of the pizza. He's seen the likability of the pizza. But for him, the Chicago style hot dog takes it. Plus, he's witnessed it. And the fact that he's witnessed it, it put him over the top. And that's all I'm saying. And I was trying to use my mountain oyster take by asking you if you've had mountain oysters before.
As opposed to what kind of other kind of oysters?
It didn't have anything to do with oysters. It was
Oh,
a food take.
I mean, I figured they were
Because
mountain
mountain
oysters. Maybe
oysters
they're
aren't
freshwater
actual
oysters or something.
oysters. They're not the oysters in which you think of. So that's why I was asking you, well, you know or not if you've had mountain oysters. So you
Well-
know if you've put something in your mouth that was called mountain oysters. It's a
know, bro.
specific
How
food.
would I know?
It's so specific that you
Yeah.
would know if you've had them or not. So
Well,
it's like
well,
it's like if you asked me
It was many years ago.
if you
man.
if
So
you
maybe
asked me
I might have-
if you said, Aaron, have you ever had Delaware Punch before?
yeah,
And I know I have never drank a drink called Delaware Punch. So I've never had Delaware Punch before.
well, what I'm saying is,
And I can
when
say no, Boog, I haven't had it. I have
When
had
I'm-
Delaware Punch before, I'm saying.
I'm saying that I went to a place. It was a after work type thing. I worked for a no matter what I worked for. Anyway, we after work they're like, hey, we're going to this seafood place in the Galleria, blah blah blah, and they're like, do you want some oysters? Now, were these mountain oysters? I don't know, because the person I said is like, nah, I don't really want no oysters. That didn't sound like something should be eaten or not. When I had the oysters, they were fried. It was like different types, and then we had an assortment of oysters. Could some of those have been mountain oysters? This is 2000, so you're talking about 20 years ago. I don't know. So I
Mountain
was trying to be
oysters are
difficult.
not even seafood though.
I said I don't know that. I didn't know
And
that.
that's
That's why
my
I'm saying I
question.
don't know.
And
So
it's not
trying
a
to trick me,
I'm
and
not
I'm like,
trying to
I'm
trick you.
being
I asked
honest.
you a
I don't
very
know.
specific question. And
And the
this is a
specific
question
answer, I don't
this
know.
is a question that I truly have about people. How come it's so hard to say yes or no? Like how why is it so hard to admit I'm not knowledgeable of something? And
I said I
I'm
don't
not
know.
saying you. I'm just
Yeah.
saying period. Like why is that so hard?
You know why? Because the thing that people accuse me of is really what is in their heart, bro.
This is not a
Nobody wants
boogie thing. I'm not talking
I
about
know.
boogie.
I know. I'm just saying, but I'm saying that
So but
people.
I'm not asking you to answer the question like
I'm gonna give you
because
an answer.
you're giving me a defensive boogie answer. I'm
No, no. I'm
asking
gonna
why
give
is
you
it
the
so
answer
hard for
for real.
people to admit like I don't know or
Because
no
people
I
don't want
haven't
to be
had it.
wrong, bro. People don't want to be wrong.
Like if you ask
Nobody
if you
wakes up in the morning wants to be wrong. At no point in the day does anybody wake up and say, "Man, I'm gonna do some wrong. I'm gonna not know about nothing." That's not what people wake up to do. So when you ask them a question, or do you know, there are more people that will be like that won't admit to not knowing or to being wrong about something than people that say, "Man, I was wrong about that. I ain't know."
but you look crazier when you try to bullshit your way through it. In life, I think that's one of the good qualities I have. I'm not afraid to say when I don't know about something because if I don't know about it, two things are going to happen. I'm either going to leave the conversation still not knowing about it,
Yeah.
or I'm going to leave the conversation with some elementary knowledge and places to go look to increase the knowledge on said topic that I didn't know about.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. What I'm saying is that that is that's true. But like I said, you have more people who, and this is what I'm talking about. This goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning, is that there's not an honesty level when it comes to people talking about like how they really present in the world and how they really feel about stuff. A lot of times it's how I want to be seen in a particular light, or how I want to make myself seen, as opposed to just being who, like, this is one of the awakenings of our era, which happens every era, is people just being them and actualizing themselves. Like, like we have a whole campaign about mental health right now in our society, and people realizing like, hey, you know what? It's okay to not be okay. You don't have to be okay all the time. It's okay to ask for help, to be like, hey, something ain't right now. That's the whole thing right now. Now it seems frivolous, but you think about it, like, damn, we have to have a whole campaign. We have to have people, celebrities and doctors to come out and say, hey, you can ask for help, right? That's how intertwined we are into our own personal things, or how we project to the point where we'll hide how we really feel to put a face up.
I think some people just don't know about mental health and dealing with mental health. I think some people feel like depression is just something I have to deal with and get over it, or they might not even realize that they're dealing with depression.
I mean, it doesn't have to be as deep as depression. I'm thinking that we're taught in certain in cultures, in gender based teachings, to feel and to react a certain way to things. So it's not just that I don't know. Not only do I not know, but I was also taught to not react a certain way. I was told, hey, don't do this thing, don't do this natural thing that comes when this
And
happens.
that's why
And
people don't admit that they don't know something or not knowledgeable about it.
that's one of the causes. Like people,
I
like
feel like I've, I feel
if I
like
won't even admit that I'm hurting, if I, like, as a human being, if I won't even admit that, hey, I'm hurting inside, if I won't even admit that, why would I admit all these other nuanced things, these other,
I think
layered things?
I think the topic that you ventured off on is a good topic. but it's a little different than what I was asking. Because I've been in situations where I was dealing with something and I didn't realize how affected I was with it or how hurt I was
Mm-hmm.
until I truly sat down and had a conversation with someone and unpacked it. And it was a form of therapy. It wasn't with a licensed therapist. The therapy was I actually sat down and unpacked it with someone. So
Speaking of speaking of unpacking, we need to get Reverend Benton on here, man, on this podcast, man. I know he did the TS no the TSDM, is that right? The TSMD,
I don't know what you're talking about.
the search for Dakota and Manning, right?
Oh, the search for Memphis and Dakota.
Memphis and Dakota, yeah. Memphis and Dakota. I know he did that show,
Yeah,
right? He needs to do the 16 Shots podcast, man.
I don't know about that.
What you mean, man? It's my brother, man.
I didn't say he wasn't.
I didn't say what you said he wasn't. I'm just saying we didn't get him on the show, man.
I okay.
I'll make the phone call. You ain't gotta do that. I'll do it.
Oh, I don't know him enough like that to make the phone call. Dominique, she grew up with the guy.
Oh, I did too. So
I think
Dominique was
she
the
grew up
president
a
of
little
the
bit more with him because
show.
if you grew up with him how she grew up with him, then she would have grew up with you. And at the
Well, no,
time
no.
that she was growing up with him, you were in a tray.
Yeah, I'm saying he went to Burbank. They went to Burbank, right?
I said,
Middle
man, look,
school.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I know him. I know him in my youth. So I wouldn't say I grew up with him, but I know him in my youth, and I'm pretty sure. Man. I hit him. I hit him.
That's fine.
No worries. No worries. I hit him. I think that'd be a very interesting conversation. But speaking about unpacking and like, I mean, I agree. Like I said, I think that to put it like everything that we do is not centric. It might start centric, but it comes from somewhere, and the reaction comes from somewhere. It's not just something we formulated in our head out the blue. That reaction was placed in us genetically, emotionally, psychologically before we was even born.
Do you
You know,
personally find it hard to admit that you don't know something?
hell no.
Okay.
But I'm saying like you can't like wow you can't put. I know everybody says this, but like you can't put me per se in the conversation because I'm one of the people that sits down and looks introspectively about things. So me saying I don't like, why would I have a problem saying I don't know? I don't have to put out a face to anybody. I don't feel
We
that need to put on
I
a
think
front or a face for somebody.
I think we all in certain aspects put out a face for the public, if not to do anything else but protect your inner peace and your inner person.
Mm,
We all have put on a face for the public that disguises maybe our feelings or protects us.
I can agree that we all have different um coping mechanisms, you know what I'm saying? But so I don't, it just depends on the individual, man, and how, like I said, it's not internal. It didn't come from self. It does not come from self. But it's not something you formulate in your head, bro.
That's not true.
It's I'm just saying that it's fact that we are indoctrinated into ways of thinking, depending on where you're from. What's about parenting? You can't tell me all these things about parenting is important and role models are important, and then tell me, well, I thought about this on my own. No, there's a piece of what you thought about that came from the parenting, from your environment, from your friend circle, from what you've seen, from how you grew up. Like all those things are an influence on the way that a person, not Aaron or JV, but it's
No, of
any
course. No,
person.
it is. It is. All of these things are a piece of how myself and you deal with things,
Yeah,
for the opinions that we have of the world.
yeah.
All of this is a direct result of our upbringings and the environment that we were in as kids in our households. Now, once we became adults, there are some certain values and things that we have learned along the way, and that we use in our daily life to help protect our mental and other things. It all
But
goes hand in hand. I feel like it all goes hand in hand. I feel like your initial personality is a direct reflection of the household you grew up in.
I mean, to an extent, yeah, there's pieces of that in there. But
I
like
mean,
I'm
you
saying,
yourself talk about how you had a different outlook on life than some of the other kids in your community
hmm
simply because of the values that your mother instilled in you as an immigrant coming from Africa. So you had
but
you spoke
yeah,
about those different values and how you looked at life. Matt, the mere fact that ownership was preached to you at a young age by your mother owning a
yeah,
duplex and you having like your own apartment as a teenager, like you don't think that had a effect on your outlook because you had that example and that experience at a young age
of
opposed
course.
to your friends.
But I'm also saying that I agree. But I'm also saying that there's an element of it that there are things that are that are there. There are things that are intrinsic to a to an individual that are genetic. Like you might have values of this, but you might have an inkling, or you might have like I might have values of ownership and been taught to be mathematically sound and use math as a gateway to things. But I might have an artistic mind. Because my grandfather and my great grandfather were artists, and that's just in me. That's something that's in me that has that had to be explained to me, and or wasn't not talking about mental person, anybody. So like there are things that are beyond just like everything isn't this happens here. There's society. I might have been like there are people I grew up with who had similar, teachings, but society told them that that wasn't the right way to think for whatever reason. It might not have said it directly, but it inferred that no, that ain't how you think about ownership. Black people can't own nothing. Y'all ain't nothing but this. You gotta be a worker. You gotta go get a job and work for somebody. That's what society told them. That's what they did. They're not saying that made them unsuccessful. Not saying that it was. I'm just saying there's so many different influences into a person, into any individual's personality, that trying to put it into one thing, one factor, is unfair to the conversation because there are
How,
so many other factors.
when did we
Not
try to
saying
do
it
that though?
did. I'm just saying that
So
there are
have
so
you
many
experienced someone
factors.
trying to do that? And that's why I be getting lost, bro. Because sometimes you'll bring up like a point or argument. It's like we ain't say that, bro.
No, you said it was your parenting was the reason. I'm just like that's one of the factors, but I'm saying it's a bunch of other factors
I said a
as
lot.
well.
I didn't just say the parenting. I said a
I
lot,
didn't,
bro.
yeah, but
Like I
I
said a
said that
lot.
there. Yeah,
There were like several layers, and the parenting piece was just one aspect of it.
that's the only the thing you told the thing. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna go there. You're right.
No, I said one of the things was the environment that you were parented in. That's one of the things. That's one
And
of the factors. All I said was
yeah,
one of the
and,
factors.
and all I said that there was. I just added more things to that. I
Okay.
didn't say anything you said was wrong, did I?
Okay.
I'm asking you, did I say that? Wait, at any point I say no? That's not. I said that there are many things.
Well,
There's
it
so
came
many
across
factors.
because you said it's more than just one factor. It's not. You made it
Yeah.
seem like someone was saying that there was only one factor, and I
No,
was
there's no.
lost.
I'm not saying you said that.
Okay.
We probably talking about what you call it, man. I sent a whole itinerary. You know what I'm saying?
We
You didn't
talked
get it?
about most of it. I mean, I asked you questions off the itinerary.
Oh,
I
we didn't get.
literally asked you questions off of it.
Did we get to the other part? We got to the we didn't get to the Ohio State kid, man.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't know anything about Ohio State kid. I don't even know what he did.
Well, halftime right before halftime or second half of a play, Ohio State linebacker uh was called off. He was trying to go in for it to sub, got waved off to go back on the field, got mad, took his jersey off, threw his jersey to the stands, took his stuff, was asked to leave the sidelines because he was tripping, went to the locker room, went on Twitter and started dogging the program and quit the team.
Mm.
And so the conversation starts right there. Was that appropriate? Was he wrong? Was he right? Is this a is this a is this a microcosm of what athletes today are like? Was that something that you would have done in your day? Are the athletes too privileged?
I don't think they're too privileged. I mean, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes or what other factors led up to this young man being fed up. I don't think it's the right thing to do. We always teach our athletes to do the right things, um, try to overcome adversity. So I would never say the right thing for a player to do is to walk off the field, throw his jersey in the stands, go to the locker room, and then get on social media and dog the program. So
I
no.
think when my question or when I was trying to figure out or just trying to pick your brain about is we say one thing to our athletes, but we promote something different. So it's like we say don't do X, Y, Z and be this way, but as the coaches, like we tell the athletes be loyal to the program, right?
Yeah.
But the coaches leave with where the money goes, and it's not a conversation about are they loyal to so and so, blah blah blah. We tell
Well,
the
I
athlete,
think I think today's athlete have more choices. They don't have to be as loyal to the program as they once were, and that goes in business too. Like, workers aren't loyal to corporations how they used to be. You
yeah,
used to have a time where a worker would be 30 years in a place and retire. And now you got employees, if that shit ain't making sense after 3, I'm out.
yeah,
I even to the fact that I know some employers when they do interviews, it's like I don't care about the worker who was there for 10, 15 years in
hmm
one place. I care about seeing the employee who was in a place for 2, 3 years, and every time they've moved, it's been to different positions, reaching different goals. They care
yeah.
about the progression of the employee and them progressing in their career, and more than just, oh, you sat at AT&T for 15 years. I
Yeah.
guess you could say the
Well,
same with an athlete. Nowadays, you do have a lot of athletes that transfer from school to school. I was watching some game the other day, and it was like, oh yeah, such and such transfer from X school. Like, that's more of a thing now than it was, 10 years ago. Ten
yeah.
years ago, it was hard as hell for a quarterback who went to Ohio State, who was number 3 on the depth chart, but probably can start anywhere else in the country to
hmm
transfer. Now it seems like shit they can transfer just as easy as a coach can go work for another team.
Well, I think there are two factors behind that. The transfer portal has changed because at one point, there wasn't a transfer portal first off, and then secondly, you had to get your coach to sign off on you leaving the school. So the coach could just hold your, and many players have got they even in high school.
It was
uh,
definitely like that. When I left Madison to go to Worthing, the head coach had to sign off on it.
Yeah, you have to sign out, and what person is going to give somebody else, especially somebody who they feel like used their time not in the most positive way or wasn't a positive influence on their program. Like, why would I? And sometimes that call comes from the other coach. Like, man, I don't want him here. I don't want him here. I know he does that, but if he got you problems, he's gonna give me problems too. So you just don't sign up on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you said, I agree that there's some stuff behind the scenes that go on, but I just wanted I'm just wondering if this is the new athlete that we gonna get used to. Is that the new athlete? The
How
one
much?
who's
How
entitled.
often? How often does this happen though? Because like I said, being a student athlete is hectic, bro. And you don't know. He could have just been fed up with the whole process and was like, "This some bullshit."
Yeah. I mean, a little research on him. He was like the 217th overall prospect last year. He was like the second or third on the chart, on the depth chart. Um, you know, the coaches spoke highly of him before the incident. They didn't have any commentary after the incident, but they spoke highly of him, said he had a bright future. So it wasn't like, at least in public, they were, throwing stones at them, which they will do. So I mean, it's kind of baffling. You know, you just wonder what's going on. And most importantly, it's odd that there's not a big deal being made of it, because what makes somebody leave a D1 school in the middle of a game? I mean, Ohio State in the middle of a game that they were winning by like 20 points at the time. So it's not that we're losing and I'm frustrated. It's like we're winning, end up winning 47-0, something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, what what makes that happen?
Have you ever just been tired of something you've done?
Yeah.
So I think I've experienced this before. Um, I experienced it in football and other aspects of my life. I handled it differently, but I think sometimes you get to a point where you could have been doing something for a large portion of your life,
Mm-hmm.
and you look up and you say, you know what? I don't like this anymore. It's some bullshit. I don't want to do this no more.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Well,
and and you find the quickest exit from it that you possibly can.
I mean, I guess not saying that your answer is wrong, but I mean, I guess people just handle things differently. Like
They do.
I've I've tried not to get into situations where somebody told me the day, like, um they didn't envy my paycheck, but they envied the feeling I get from my paycheck. And I was like, I understand what you're saying, because there are people who make more money than me, you know what I mean? But they also have different stresses that they really don't want to have, or they don't just enjoy going to work all the time. Sometimes it's a hassle to go to work. And like I'm like, I think that from my perspective, for another human being, if you can wake up in the morning and be happy to go to work, it's not even work. To be happy to go to get paid somewhere, then to an extent you won. You've beat, you've not beat, but you've excelled. You know what I mean? You're not you're not being forced to do anything you don't want to do. And that's the freedom that everybody strives for. And that's why people get jobs with a bunch of money, so they can have the freedom to do things. You know what I mean? You get that big job so you can be able to have the freedom to go on those trips and get those things and have these things, not because the things are important, but because these things make your life easier and more fun. And you know, if a person can find a space where they can get paid to do things that you know they like to do, then there's gonna be a less propensity of somebody to say, "Man, fuck this shit. I don't like to," because you're not doing something you like to do. You know, Now, is that easy? Is that always the case? Of course not. I've had jobs that I ain't like. You know what I'm saying? But
I stopped
and
I stopped working with kids because it was more of a task than fulfilling.
yeah,
I don't know if it was the platform I was using to work with kids. I don't know if it was working with the kids itself. I loved working in the community and making a difference, but I didn't like the actual job anymore, bro.
I can see it. I can see it. Like, I think that the best job anybody can have is the one where the things that you don't like don't bother you. You know what I mean?
Like
Because you're gonna have things you don't like in any job.
if I have
But
a job, if I have a job that I don't like,
mhm.
then because I don't care what job you have, you can have a job that you 100% love. There's always going to be hurdles to overcome. There are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be challenges that you have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah,
If you truly love the job, then those things won't matter. And I got to a point when I was working with kids that not only was it the hurdles I dealt with daily, I just didn't enjoy the work I was doing anymore. And that's why I got out.
I mean, I think it happens to everybody, and it happens in relationships. It happens in work, it happens. Like that's not a because we, like I said, I think that uh, you know who put me on that really? Dame Dash, man. Dame Dash. I remember a long time ago. It's like maybe like the third or fourth year after the Rockefeller breakup. He professional podcast, man. Professional podcast.
I'm looking at some what you call.
Now I'm messing with you. Um, he's like, man, I hate that we were so human at the end of the day. And he made that commentary about why Rockefeller broke up. And he said it wasn't necessarily because of, you know, any particular person or any particular outside force, but that we were just human. And we had for a period of time they had surpassed that. They had put away the things that usually toll most humans, you know what I mean? And like we're humans, man, and we're we're emotionally based creatures.
I heard
So,
a
you know,
I heard a podcast and a take on this Rockefeller stuff, and then we probably got to get out of here because we almost at we at 2 hours and 30 minutes.
yeah,
So I heard that Jay truly wanted a CEO that didn't want to be at the forefront. He
yeah,
felt like Dame wanted to be in the spotlight just as much as Jay. And
yeah,
it didn't work because Jay wanted to be Jay Z wanted all the spotlight. He wanted
yeah,
a CEO that would take a back seat. Now, Dame Dash being the CEO that was out in the spotlight, I think Dame got he knew how to find talent. And that's just how he did it.
hmm,
And I remember hearing an interview that Jay Z did shortly after that whole Dame Dash and fallout with Rockefeller, and he took over, and Rockefeller ultimately kind of flaked out.
yeah,
His thing was, yeah, I want to do the headphone things too. I can do that because that was the thing that was big. It was Beats by Dre was big at that point,
yeah,
and he was just
yeah,
speaking of the things that he could do that he wanted to do for his business acumen. And people were saying Jay couldn't get the business done that he wanted to do because Dame was still at the forefront. He needed a CEO that would take a back seat and let Jay do the business Jay wanted to do. And they had examples of, well, yeah, they let Dame run around and do Rockaware
yeah,
and do the liquor. And then after Dame was out of the picture, Jay messed up business because he didn't truly know business how he thought he did. And he
yeah,
went and got a CEO that just said, yes, I'm going to sit in the
yeah.
back. I'm going to let you do what you do. And I don't understand how that guy is championed as this supreme business acumen person when Jay only has people around him who, and Dame says this a lot, and not in particular to Jay. People around Dame, they do become their own boss. I
Yeah.
think Dame Dash, starting with Jay, gave people around him the blueprint to eventually evolve and not need him to make money. I think Jay wants to keep people around him who need him to make money. Because what, honestly, he fucked up Rockefeller and he got this Rock Nation shit, but he's not doing any real work with artists. He's taking established artists and putting them in Rock Nation, bro.
Well, I think even simpler put than that, I think that Jay Z wants to run in the establishment and maybe particularly change it from within. And Dame Dash is a person that feels like he he doesn't need the establishment, and that Jay Z is more of a Martin Luther King, and Dame is more of a Marcus Garvey.
But let's keep it a buck. Like, shit that Dame was champion 15 years ago,
Yeah.
Jay frowned upon. And now he fake champion that shit, and we supposed to believe him. Like
Well,
he literally clowned Nas for trying to educate niggas. And now what is he trying to do?
I mean, like I said before, man, the conversation you're telling me is what I keep saying. Like there are less people who there are less people who are going to investigate, read, research, and respond with their own data than people that are going to just say, "I heard that. I'm gonna repeat that," and that's not knocking people. That is the cultural way of a lot of history. History was an oral history for years among many people. Everybody couldn't read and write for the longest. You know what I'm saying? People had to tell stories verbally. This is how this happened, so and so, pass around this. So the saying a man's your word is your bond is not just about somebody being, having true to their word, but it's because for so long all you had was your word. There wasn't no contracts. It wasn't no everybody couldn't write down it's like, so when you tell me something, you gotta be that and that's it. And it
Hey,
has to be it has to be solid.
you told me you give me 3 gold for your wife. Say so. Bro, how old were you when you realized what a ball faced lie really meant?
A bald faced lie. I thought that meant that if you ain't had no hair in your face, so you ain't trustworthy.
But do you know the origins of it?
I do not.
Yeah, so so like back in the day, bro, businessmen wore like beards, bro. Businessmen had before the
Yeah,
European culture tried to
yeah,
tell us that you had to be clean cut with no facial hair.
yeah.
Businessmen wore like beards, bro. And
That was
so,
that was a sign of business.
huh?
That was a sign of business.
No, it's just that they're professional businessmen wore business suits and beards.
Okay.
And I'm assuming the shadier businessmen didn't have face hair. And
Hey
so,
man.
it was like you're a bald faced lie because it was you do shady business. You don't have a beard. It probably was somebody who low key couldn't grow a beard, so he just made sure he was clean faced.
I'm gonna say,
And
what
then
if somebody couldn't grow a beard and they want to do business? Like, all
I ain't
right,
gonna
man, I
lie,
got to.
I kind of side out niggas who really can't grow beards. I'm not saying it has to be a full beard like ours. It can
Yeah.
be some stubble, but I
I
just
know some guys that be really really patchy with their beards. Like it might be some hair here and maybe some hair here,
but they
but like
trying to grow it though. You know what I'm
it
saying?
looks very like fake terrorists, man.
It
I'm like,
don't
bro,
matter
this
though. They
dude,
trying to grow it though, man.
you're like, man, you look real weak right now,
It
man. You don't
said, you
have
know what it
everybody.
says? It says I'm secure about myself, and while I can't grow the full beard that you can,
Yeah,
I'm working daily to get better at growing facial hair. They're not trying to hide the fact that they
that
can't
they
grow
can't.
it. And
I
so
don't like what's going through.
if they hiding the fact they can't grow face hair, what else they hiding? You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were going to the hair thing. I was like, it's nothing wrong with being able to grow hair, with not being able to grow hair in some spaces. You know what I mean?
Hey, it gotta
'Cause,
be trash if you like can't grow hair on your head and your face.
I mean,
I feel like God ain't gonna do both to you. It's either one or the other. Either you can grow hair but no face hair, or you can grow face hair but no like topical hair.
what
I
about
mean,
Charlie Villanueva?
no, no, no,
Villanueva.
no, 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 no. That's different. That's a condition where you don't grow
Uh,
anybody hair. So
yeah,
he's disqualified from being called a bald faced lie because my man's ain't got no eyebrows.
you ain't got no hair nowhere.
Yeah, that's different. That's different.
Oh, okay. We gotta do one of the last topics, man, because we never. You know what? I've noticed something, man. We get to the pod and we have a well-written script, man, and we get on one subject and we go for so long that we have like 12 scripts full of unaddressed topics.
I think that's every podcast, bro. It's hard to like just. No one wants to hear someone just going down. All right, so topic number 3
I
is
mean, look, we can do it. We've done it
Did
before.
Batman really beat Joker? Topic number 4 is
It's not hard.
is
Just
the
because
Incredible
you
Hulk.
don't want to have a smooth transitional from top to, you don't have to say top number four. We can be talking generally and go from, I just want to talk about, we kind of got to the GOAT conversation, but what's some of the dumbest rules that you ever had to follow that you're like, man, this rule is stupid?
In life or in a sport?
Either or. I got like four in sport that I get through all the time, but
The dumbest rule in life that I've ever had to follow. The dumbest rule in sport.
I get one of my dumb
Give
rules
me
in
one,
sports.
and then I'm think about it.
So I get into it with referees all the time when we're talking about like defense, and I'm like, y'all make the rules to for offense. Like the rule is really to cater to the offense, so the offense can do all they can push off, grab, pull, yank. But if I do anything of that, if I do the same thing to the offense that they can do to me, then it's a foul or it's a holding or something. Like, hold up, man, why can he do it but I can't?
Well, you can just once you get on the offensive side.
No, no, no. Like in football, if we talk about hand fighting, receivers can hand fight way more than DBs can.
I can put my hands on you in the first 5 yards.
Yeah, but when we get like when the ball's in the air, 9 out of 10 times, if the receiver pushes off and catches it, that's good receiver work. If the DB does the same thing, PI.
Well, that's a bad interpretation of the rule by the refs.
What I'm saying is most like name me a sport that has rules that favor the defense.
I don't think any sport has that because they feel like the attraction to the sport is offense.
That's what I'm saying. So like if you're a
So
defensive
from go
player,
ahead,
you
yeah,
disadvantage out the rip.
yeah, but
Because if I do the same, if you like, let's say you're a running back, you can come and take your hand and put it in my face mask and ram it in the face, ram it to the
no,
ground.
I can't grab.
No, but
I
you can
can't
put your hand in
grab.
my face. You
I
can
can
put your hand
push
in my
off.
face,
I can push off.
in
If
my
I
face, yeah.
yeah, I can. I can push off. I can mush
But I can't
face
do it to
you.
you. I can't do it to you. That's the hands to the face.
Yeah, you can't grab. No.
I can't mush you in the face. Illegal hands to the face.
Why are you trying to mush me in the face anyway on defense?
Why you mushing me in the face on the offense?
I'm getting you out the way. I'm pushing you off.
I'm getting you out the way too.
No, you're
So
not pushing me off. Your goal on defense is to tackle me to the ground.
so you're
Pause.
saying that if your goal is you can get me off of you any way you can, but I can't get you down the way I can. See what I'm saying? It favors the offense.
I'm not supposed to grab your face mask on offense and drag you down. No, I can just
I
push you
didn't
off.
say it.
If
If I'm
if
on the
I if
wall,
I'm running with the ball,
yeah,
I can't bat you upside the head, bro.
yeah, I can't. If I'm,
I'm
I
talking about
can
as a
ride,
defender. I can't bat you upside the head. Why would
but
you want to do that?
why would you want him in the face with your offensive player?
I'm just pushing you off. And you're leading with your helmet. I'm pushing you off, my nigga.
What I'm saying is, why can you do something that I can't do if we're both equal? If we're both equal, then if you can't hit me in my
But we're
face,
not equal because as a defender, I can wrap you up and slam you to the ground. You can't do that as an offensive player
why not?
because that's not the function of your job.
No, but I can do it though.
So if you come off the line after your 8 yards in and you wrap me up and slam me to the ground as a receiver and continue to run, that's
The
a
ball in my
penalty.
hand, yeah, I'm good.
There, you can't
Right.
wrap me up and
If
slam
I
me
was
to the
running with the
ground
ball and
with
I
a
grabbed
ball.
you with one hand, picked you up and put you down and kept going, it might be hard to do, but if you did it, they wouldn't say anything like, dang, he cold.
Well, if I do that same thing to you as a defender, it's not a flag. But if I grab your face mask as a defender, it's a flag.
But if you put your hand in my face as a defender, I don't have to grab it. If I just put my hand in my face and I just mush you down, if I attack you by your helmet, just take you and mush you down, illegal hands to the face, right?
I don't think it's. I think it's if you grab the face mask. I think
That's
it's
that's a face mask pull.
yeah,
But if
yeah,
I put
yeah,
my
yeah.
hands in your face,
But
I can't.
I think if I go to wrap you up and in the wrapping you up, my arm bats the side of your helmet. That's not a flag.
No, I'm saying if you come off the line, if you catch the ball and you running, and instead of me wrapping you up, I just take my hand and just mush you down to the ground.
They're gonna call
Like,
clothesline or some shit like that, bro.
oh, no, I'm gonna take my
I'm saying
hand
they're
and
gonna
put that.
call this shit.
But how come if you run with the ball and I'm trying to tackle you, you can just take your hand and just smash me to the ground?
Man, I don't know, bro. That's the rule. You can stiff arm.
That's a dumb rule, bro.
I
If
don't
it's dumb, it's dumb because why can't I do it? If you can do that, and I can do that, man.
see. I don't know if you want to go down this rabbit hole because if that's the case, then there's a lot of shit you can just say is a dumb rule because one person can do it and I can't.
Name me something else where it's so egregious that one side can do the same thing and be like, oh no, that's legal, but that's not.
I don't know. I
That's what I'm
know.
saying. If
I
I'm on offense and I kick you, I can't kick you. If I'm on defense, I can't kick you. If I'm on offense, I can't jump off somebody's back. You know what I'm saying, to go score. Just like if I'm on defense, I can jump on the back to block. Like it, that's equal. We're supposed to be
I
playing
think some of it
equal.
is the pursuit though. Like the defender is not being pursued by an offensive player. So you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm running at you
Yeah.
and you use the stiff arm move, as long as you don't close your hand and grab the face mask and drag me down, I think you're fine. I don't know if I like bat you upside the head if that's a penalty or not as a defender.
I'm saying that if you running that, what if I'm just a mean character, man, and I don't want to tackle you, man. I just want to run up on you and get close to you. I get my hand on your helmet. I just, that's how I tackle.
It's probably against the rules.
But if you on offense and you just a mean character and you just you just put your hand on my face mask and that's not fair, bro.
Okay.
I'm just saying it got to be equal.
I everything ain't equal. And because it's not equal doesn't mean it's not right.
I'm saying that. Oh, I agree. Well, I'm saying that if we're talking about the rule of sport, this is not life. This is a game that people were created. This is something we made up. We made this up. We made the rules so that one faction of the ball doesn't have an advantage on the other faction of the ball. Right? It shouldn't be that offense has an advantage over defense. It should be it's equal. But it's not equal if there's certain things you can do on like if we're in the same bang play and we're here and you can do this, that, and the other, but I can't do that same thing to you, man. And like I can't chop block you on either side of the ball. If I'm offense or defense, I can't chop block you.
So is it fair that you think it's a dumb rule that a woman can punch a man but a man can't punch a woman?
Mm, yeah. Why? Yeah. I mean, like if you so you like I don't think it makes sense that it's not that it's unfair. It's like it's stupid though. It's dumb to say that if you punch me, then that's not a assault. But if I punch you, then it's an assault. Like you assaulted me too.
Gotcha, gotcha.
I'm not
I,
saying that men should walk around punching women or anything, but I'm saying that if women punch on you, they should get the same time a man get. They should get the exact same punishment.
yep, I feel you. Well, man, it's late, bro. I gotta wake up early.
Uh, I do too, I think.
What else you got on the docket, man?
Man, we'll do this next time, man. Trying to get some. I'm gonna try to get Wells on here for some mental health talk, man, so we can have a long talk about mental health. And again, I'm trying to get a forex trader on here.
All right,
And
Charlemagne the God,
what you mean?
with your mental health.
I think, man,
No, no,
I
no,
think
no, no, no,
I think
no,
we
no,
should
no,
always
no,
be
no, no, no,
healthy.
no, no, no. I feel you.
And I think his show is like, man, Charlemagne's show is kind of like a
On
rip
Comedy
off, but
Central.
yeah, it's kind of a rip
I
off,
feel like
but
I've seen
basically,
it before. I've seen his shows. I've seen his shows blueprint before. I'm not saying it's trash. I'm not saying it's not a good show. I've
yeah,
seen some cuts on IG. It was pretty funny. What that Chico Bean he had on there with the rebel
racist.
flag racist auction or some shit, whatever it was.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was pretty funny.
it was pretty funny.
I saw the show. It was, it was good. It wasn't bad. It's just like
I like what Ja Rule would say or what Ja Rule thinks. That was kind of funny.
I didn't see that part. Maybe I went to the bathroom when it happened. I go to the bathroom sometimes during shows. Like I might have a show on, go to the bathroom, come back, and then it's got gay porn on, and I don't even know what's going on.
Oh
Like
yeah.
John
So with
and
that
stuff.
note, hey, he's brought up gay porn again. This has been another riveting episode of the
I'm
16
just
Shots
saying, man,
podcast
it's not really gay
with
porn because it's a
Young
girl
James
that has a
Boogie
penis.
and
So
AR Dub, and he's brought up transgender porn again,
I was just
guys.
making the point because y'all was like, who watches porn and walks off? Me, it's not that important. I'm watching for the storyline. But
We
anyway,
talked about watching Charlemagne, and then you came back and said transgender porn was on, bro. I don't know what's your fascination with the trans community. It's not,
okay.
look, hey, bro, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna love you the same, bro. Do you have a trans girlfriend, bro?
You know what? I do not.
All right.
I'm not gonna. I do not. I
Okay.
never have.
I thought you was
Nothing.
gonna tell me like you weren't sure if you had a transgender girlfriend or not.
I'm 100% sure that I've never, went to my girl's private region and seen anything that looked like mine.
So you're not sure if you've had mountain oysters, but you're 100% sure that you have never went out on a date with a transgender female.
Well, no, no, I might have got fooled one time. I might have had a one night where I went somewhere or
So
met
you
somebody,
might have had a one nighter with the trans woman.
might
There's
have had a
nothing wrong with
one night.
that. No, no,
Listen,
no.
hold on.
Hey,
No,
my
no,
brother.
no, 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 no,
I,
no, no, no. I'm saying I might have met somebody and not known they were transgender, but I wouldn't know that until like I still don't know. Well, anyway, and if I did, so what, man? You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying I don't judge, my brother.
I'm not. I'm just you trying to make it seem like I just like I said I. You trying to twist my words? I'm trying to
I must admit,
do
I
it.
just now did try to twist your words,
No,
sir.
I'm just saying I might have went to a club and you might have went to a club and didn't know it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure I've definitely ran across a shim and didn't know it. I
Yeah.
frequent the Galleria a couple of times, but I have never made any moves on a transgender person.
Well, if you didn't know, how would you know?
I know I never have made moves on a transgender person.
One time I was. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. One time we were at Sharpstown when it used to be Sharpstown. Me and my boy Corey. He had drop top black. So we drive up and you see this girl from a distance. And she's like, "Hun." And I was like, I said, looked at him like, you seen that, bro? Am I tripping? I'm like, maybe I'm tripping, man. I looked back. She said, "Hun." I was like,
How did that
man, we
make
gotta
you
go over
feel?
there, bro. We gotta go over there, bro. You know what I'm saying? She had nice shape and everything. I was like, bro, it
So
was
he
two of
had
them.
a
She was
nice
like, she
shape.
had a friend.
So the
Yeah.
men had nice shapes that you were intrigued with.
She had nice shape. She was cute. And she said, Adam. So I was like, bro, we
But
gotta go over there and see what's going on.
she was
She
a
had a
he
friend
though.
too. Huh?
She was a he though.
No, no, no. So I get over there and I pull up on her. I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? She's like, I'm fine. I've been not letting me going. I was like,
Oh, so you saying she was retarded?
no, she just had a little strong. I don't know if she was special needs or not. I just know that she had a part my that in her palm.
I can't say retarded, can
I don't think so.
I? Okay.
So I looked at him and he had no couth whatsoever. He bust out laughing. I tried to hold it as long as I could. And I was just like hitting him on the leg like, dog,
I
drive
don't
off.
believe that you tried to hold it as long as you could. I believe that you probably laughed just as hard as your compadre.
Nah, bro, I can hold it in. I because I'm trying to figure out like I was like, huh? Nah, how you doing? I just want to know what's not going. And I was like, ooh, bro, let's go. Let's go. So I'm giving him the tap. And he laughing, man. I'm like, man, bro. Cause my window down and she's walking closer. So at that point in our professional podcast, which at least I hide my phone so you can't see it. So like you can never
We were
know.
supposed to be
I
done like 10 minutes ago, bro. I'm setting up
understand.
my day, my
I don't
work
be
day.
like, I have my phone down here, you know what I'm saying? Eyes up, you know what I'm saying?
That's because they can't see your phone. They can see my phone because of the. Never mind.
Because of all the lights you got up and everything.
What you mean? I ain't got a bunch of lights up. I ain't got no lights up. What are you talking about, bro?
No shadow anywhere, bro. There's no shadow anywhere.
It's not my
Not even
fault that where I'm at
bro,
is
not even
well
on
lit.
your mic. It's not even a shadow from the mic to you. Like, so you know it's lights everywhere, bro.
It's not my
It's no,
fault
it's
that where
no
I'm at
shadow.
is
Not even
a well lit room.
it's light coming from at least four ways, man. Because it ain't even no. I'm like, golly,
What
man.
are you talking
Ain't no,
about?
you don't have no shadow. You a vampire.
I might be.
You ain't even got you glowing. You know what I'm saying? Your black's your black. Your gray is gray. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
I
because
can.
I don't Beijing. All right, so this has been episode 81. Episode 81 of the 16 Shots podcast. And we'll be back in a day or two.
Man.
And we out.